There are, buddy. And I think we're getting ready to go live.
And you're live, Brad.
Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about the new K5 from FMS and Pitbull new batteries made by Pitbull.
Pitbull has batteries? What are you talking about? Where did you hear that from?
Exo Cage.
Oh. Exo Cage has batteries. So I'm not working on anything tonight because I'm in the driver's seat. I'm going to be driving for Brad, which means I'll be controlling what's being published. We have Jem's Hobby, which is working on or worked on his Tamiya, his childhood Tamiya. That was his first RC vehicle when he was a kid, and he just
brought it back to life.
Together. Yeah, brought it back to life. He kind of resuscitate it. So he's got a video on his channel.
He may even attempt to rebuild the body again.
It's glued back together, Brad. You ain't gotta hate on the ugliness.
Well, I'm talking about the crack side of the.
No, I would leave it that way, and if he wants it fixed, I would just buy a body and repaint it and run it with the new body and leave that body as a showpiece.
I actually, sorry, Tank.
Cool.
In Florida, a buddy of mine wanted a RC Everyday sticker because he was down there when I went to USTE, so I picked one up for him. And I saw him at the hobby shop Saturday, and he's actually got original wheels for me and a spare body.
Cool. Perfect.
And you'll just keep that for posterity, the old beat up one, huh?
Or I'll run it till it's destroyed in true fashion.
So you're gonna put the you can put the rear spikes back on it, huh?
I'm gonna take it to the skate park.
Well, I'm not going to jump this thing anymore. That's for sure.
So, Corey, do you want to get in on this on the panel today?
And I have the
Corey says it looks good. Sweet cracks up all.
I have the old original tires, and they're so rock hard. I'm afraid to push on them because they'll just split.
Yeah,
they're already split on this one.
You know, my Hornet.
There's a crack here.
When I got my Hornet, it would be 40. It'd be about 40 years old.
I actually took a 2.2 tire, cut it in half, took a piece of it off, and re-glued it together and made 1.9s with it.
Nice. I think these are 155s, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But like the TTO2 or that one is a 1.9.
Right. Right.
Hey, send an email to Tank RC, and he'll give you the way to get in.
I might still have Corey's email. So since Tank's running the show, I'll look and see, buddy.
Well, Tank is the manager administrator. I'm just
but he can forward the email he got.
Okay.
So he can forward the email to him. Or I'll put you on the list if you send me an email at the tankrc@gmail.com, and I'll put you on the list for next time.
The email sent, Corey.
Corey McKenzie.
So this guy came out.
Oh.
Now, is that the same? Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that the Fall Guy truck?
No, the Fall Guy was actually a K.
Was it a step side?
2500 K2500. This is a K5.
Okay.
And this is a Blazer compared to the other one was actually a pickup truck. The Fall Guy.
Right. They just have the conversion to make it.
Yeah, it does look like it. They took the cab off because you can actually take the cab off. Brad, you talk about it.
It's a hard body. They have 3 colors: black, brown, and orange. They're basically block diffs of the monster trucks. So it's on the monster truck chassis that they make. That's what I know of it.
I didn't know it was a hard body, but it could be.
Yep. It's a hard body.
And the back does not have a seat. It's kind of weird that they put a window there.
I think
Oh,
that's
it's
so you can convert it.
Well, they obviously got the rights to use the name.
It is licensed.
Now,
It's got-
correct me if I'm wrong. Do they have, is that their first FMS, their first licensed body?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought the other Chevy was licensed too. the
No,
red.
they called it the Glacier and something, and one of them they was something
Did
else.
they? Okay.
Yep. They never said Chevy. If they knew it was a Chevy, everybody could see it was a Chevy.
Even
Yeah,
this-
they do call it the
The
Glacier.
Glacier.
But the Chevrolet Apache, there it is. I think that's licensed by them, isn't it?
This one.
Mm-hmm.
They're still showing the Michigan. Hey, look, they're showing the new Safari, Dino Safari.
Yeah, GM official license product.
And look, the Apache is
What
licensed
about-
too.
That's what I just said.
Hey, Dirk. Did
Brad's watching the TV again.
well, someone popped up. I had to. So is someone gonna send Corey a thing?
I did send it to him.
Okay.
I sent him the email. It might be from a different email than he was used to.
They're calling the Toyota Hilux a Hilux. Maybe that one's licensed too.
Yeah, that's licensed. Toyota, no one seems to have a problem licensing Toyota products. They're easy to get along with, it seems.
It doesn't say like the other one does. Mind you, that's the blue mod.
It has the bed that Keith likes. Yeah, it actually has a depth,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and the
They got a
tailgate
lot of
comes-
trucks, don't they?
Yeah, and the tailgate comes down.
The one I'm thinking of getting is
I like
that
the
one,
total black. Oh, you like that one? Thank
What's the
but
price?
it's
You
on
want the
sale.
6 scale?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on sale for when you save 133
He
US.
says he didn't see the email, but he said he thinks he sent one to you, Tank.
Oh yeah.
you.
Let's go check. Your email must be out. I don't have nothing.
Oh,
I
he
just-
says that Rock Hobbies doesn't typically have licensed body, according to Dirk, but FMS does. FMS is their top tier, I think. That's why.
I think A-Main has that Jimmy too tank. So you don't have to wait as long for Fair RC.
Okay. Well, Fair RC as a Canadian warehouse, so that's why
Oh,
it's
okay.
faster getting it there. Email sent.
Hey, is there a trick to get these covers off?
Aren't they? No, not really. I mean, you could use a really thin flathead to kind of get in the groove.
Yeah, I got a Flynn fathead. It won't work.
Can you push it through from the inside to the outside?
You did.
I'm trying
you
that
did,
too. It doesn't, that can't do that either.
You did unscrew it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's unscrewed.
Yeah, but it only comes out one side.
One
It doesn't
side.
come out on the other side.
Okay, I'll try this way. Nope.
Look at your manual again, see how it came back in
Yeah.
before you break something. And okay, quick, stupid question.
Why am
are
I
you
doing
taking it
this?
apart?
Because I'm gonna lock the gears in here and it's
Okay,
making
what
a
is not
terrible
locked?
noise. So I'm gonna try to see if I can unlock them.
So you're thinking, you're saying it's locked right now and you want to try to unlock it.
Yeah, because when I drove it after it was broke, it was making a really bad grinding noise. And I think I didn't lock these good enough, I don't think.
Okay,
So
okay.
You might need to soak it to loosen the plastic.
Especially if you use some kind of glue or putty to put it together.
oh, son
It'll
of a
make it
bitch,
move.
I use shoe goo. It probably ain't gonna come
Oh, no
apart.
wonder.
Probably ain't gonna come apart.
Well, if you use shoe glue, I don't think nothing's moving in there.
Yeah, what else
Yeah.
is in there? I got the gear set, but there's
You don't have the new diff. You don't have the
I
outer
don't
diff.
have the diff. I don't have the old diff.
That'll teach you.
Yeah, that will teach me.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
How you doing?
Hey, Corey.
You were better off just putting a big, thick bunch of marine grease in there to get it to lock as much as possible, but still limited slip.
Let me see if I got them. My hands are all greased up.
What you can use, do Keith, is silly putty. You can pack it with silly putty and it'll act like diff lock. Or
Yeah,
what is it?
Oh, I got the
Plug.
new gears, but I ain't got the differential, so I'll just have to see if I can break this apart or something. Ding
So-
dong, ding
so-
dong.
you think that the new Chevy K5 is going to be popular, especially in black.
Well, the only one
I
that's
think
available
the-
right now for
The
pre-order.
brown blazer is definitely the more original old school blazer, and that's probably going to be the more popular. The
What-
problem
which
is
one?
it's
Orange,
so
that one,
big.
orange and white one.
The orange and white one you think is going to be the most popular?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, the
Well,
brown one.
brown
Yeah,
and
that
orange.
brown one. It's just so original. Like everyone seen one of those growing up.
Someone said who I think Exo Cage, I think he did the video on it. He said that someone did a video and he said he liked the black one the most.
I think that was RC review.
On who?
Francis, RC review.
Now the back with the lights like that, that must be extra.
No, that comes with it. That actually comes in the kit. The ready to run. It has those as an option to put on it.
It has a groundbreaking 2-speed transmission. And that's on I wonder if it's a transmission that does that or the ESC. Because on a 124 2-speed, that's
It's the transmission. It's basically the same as the Silver Eagle, the Smasher. Because Francis literally took the body off his Smasher, set it aside, and clipped the Blazer body on the whole chassis, and it all fit perfect. It's got a tiny servo that shifts it underneath of the wire.
I wonder how tiny it is because that's a small truck to try to fit
It's
two.
tiny.
That have to be smaller than a micro.
I think it's the same as these little Spectrums. I don't know if I have one sitting here.
You think it's smaller than a micro?
Yeah, I'll grab my Smasher and we can look at it.
You can control the
remote
lights
light
on and off.
Yep.
Yeah, the lights turn on and off.
And it has portal axles, I forgot.
Yeah.
I can't see on my tiny screen.
Well, just wait till. Thanks.
It's actually easy to carry. Wonder why.
I'm a Ford guy, but I really like that.
So, what color are you gonna get, Keith?
I want to get the all black one. I
Ah,
think.
I like the orange and white.
you like the orange one, Josh?
Yeah.
You can get 3 different grills for different years.
Oh, that's nice. And a different bumper
Okay, so
too.
it pops out that way.
That's cool. I hadn't.
Metal diffs,
Mm-hmm.
metal Y shaft, a 380 motor. They say it runs like it's a brushless 2-second gear.
130 motor.
Yeah. Metal teeth steering gear.
Damn it.
There's the tiny little receipt. Is it the receiver and ESC?
That's what's written.
Okay. A new controller.
How much does that thing weigh? Max speed, 8 kilometers an hour.
You want me to scale it, Frank?
Oh.
'Cause I'm sure it's really close to this. This one might be a little heavier because of the
Oh,
tires.
I'm gonna put it all together and
So that's
just
like 6 miles an hour or something.
wish for good luck. Okay, guys?
You already know how to take it apart, so
Yeah.
I just load up your gears when you put it back together with heavy grease.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't open this, though. I can't open this. Oh, but it's locked. It's not.
Now,
If it
how-
wasn't locked, it'd be moved. This bearing would be moving, right?
Can you put it between the axles and see if it makes sounds? Are the
you
axles
should
still
be
on
able
the
to put
car?
the
Got the
axle
axles
through it.
off and everything still.
Yeah.
But I tried to turn it with a
That's not where
fire
it goes. It goes on the bottom.
Oh, goes on the bottom. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, my
Now-
axles ain't in it yet.
Where are your axles? Your 2 axles? You should be able to
The
stick your 2
outrides.
axles in there.
Yeah, I put one axle in there.
No, you don't have to put it in the case.
Oh, okay, you can just put it in here.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where it
Now
goes.
put the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
one
the
on the
other
other
one.
side. You should not be able to you should not be able to move it or spin it. You should not be able to spin it at all.
Yeah, it's not moving either way.
So that's not what's making noise.
Okay. It might have been something that was broken, one of the things that was broken or something. That was making.
Now,
Fine
how
braking
does
thing?
the other gears look?
Oh, these metal gears? I mean, these plastic
the-
gears? They look good. There's
Nothing
nothing wrong with
stripped.
them.
Everything looks
Nope.
good.
Yeah. Everything looks good. Everything looks good on this one. Yeah.
I would buy another diff case to be on the safe side. I don't think they're very much either.
I got one of these, Brad, but I ain't got the
No,
diffs.
no. I'm
I
talking
ain't
about
got
the actual diff.
inside. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna buy one of them. I'm gonna put it together and run it and see what it sounds like, and I'll buy the gears inside because I got
don't think
a
you had
whole
the-
nother set of this.
I thought you had extra metal gears that go in the diff.
No, I don't. I didn't get them.
He's got gears for the transmission, but not for inside the diff.
Right. Okay.
And
I
So-
know for a fact that those diffs you put together like that, those have metal gears in them all the time.
Yeah, I know they got metal gears in them.
That's your shift servo.
What?
Oh, cool. That's pretty
And
big.
then underneath, you can see right here is where the pin moves back and forth right next to my fingernail.
Mhm.
Shift the transmission.
So they're actually fitting two servos on there.
Yep, there's a steering servo for servo on axle. And then this servo right here in front between the battery and transmission for the shifting.
It almost doesn't even look like it's a micro. It almost looks like it's a normal size.
Well, it's really close to the camera. You can put it next to the grasshopper and the grasshopper is small. But yeah, it's the same size as like the Eco Power and the Spectrum micro servos. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's got the same type of body mounting where it just clips on. That's what's under the Blazer. I saw it on Francis's video, RC review. So he literally just pulled the body off and
Let's see,
slapped
I
it
gotta
on
put that on
chassis. So it looked
first
like it had monster
before I
truck
go
tires. And it
too
looked really
far.
cool.
I
If FCX has 2-speed transmissions with a shift servo, how hard would it be to make a transmission with a dig function with a servo
There's
on
a
these small
damn
trucks?
battery.
Probably not horribly bad.
Oh,
Because you can put this one in
That's-
the middle on the switch and it's actually free revs. Because it's a 3-position switch.
where did I put that?
Okay, it's a 3-position switch, but can you, when you put it in the center, is it actually center? Is it still
Yeah.
locked? Or
It's between gears.
it is
Oh.
in fingers?
it has
I
a
like
neutral
neutral.
function on from the
Yeah.
radio. Full this way, one way is to turn the one speed on, and then the middle is neutral position. The all the way to the other side is 2-speed, second gear.
Correct.
And it's on
The
the
only-
remote, and it's a 3-position switch.
But to have a dig function, you need to lock the rear. So you need something else or another transfer case behind it so you can actually lock the rear and not the front.
Yep.
You can't do that with that transmission. You need a third party device to actually do that.
Like when you're in the big world, the Atlas gear splitters and stuff like that.
Well, Hot Racing sells a 2-speed trans with the overdrive built into the trans.
Hey,
Would
Queenie,
it be possible to modify that trans to lock the rear with the shift servo on the FCX?
I can tell you in like the Vanquish full size dig, it actually takes your rear gear set where it locks for the rear drive. And it slides a whole cylinder back into the case and it locks in the case. So it locks that rear gear drive so it won't move. So it takes all your gear drive and locks it against the case. It's actually machined into the case, or it's a bolt-in plate into the case. So it won't move. And it pulls back and engages towards the front.
So with
I
that
don't know other
theory,
digs, but I've built like 3 Vanquishes, so
so with that mechanism, would you be able to take the FCX transmission and then change that to go from the second gear to a lock on the rear?
it would have to be machined in the case and it would have to have a slide for the rear drive. I haven't been in the SCX transmission enough or the 2-speed enough to know how they engage their gear set. I'm assuming they just move it from one gear to another.
You'd have
Yeah,
to make
that's
an
what I-
adapter that goes on the output shaft of that, an adapter that would go on the rear output shaft that actually has a mechanism or whatever the word you said, that actually takes away from the pin to actually lock it. So it is something, but you mentioned that there's another company that does SCX24 with a dig.
No, it's not
Hey,
with the
Robert.
dig. It has
2-speed.
a transmission with 2 gears on the center so that it has an overdrive built into the transmission. So
You
if I was
can't-
thinking, if you were to take that design transmission and use machining to modify the two, it might be
No.
possible, but without opening
No.
them up.
No, even the Vanquish had two different servo, and one is on one side and the other one is on the other side to actually lock the front or the rear, but it's actually completely separate. So the 2-speed is completely separate from your dig. You
Same with
can't
the,
modify the 2-speed to be a dig. You can't do that.
Same with
Okay.
the SCX 10-3.
Yeah.
They're on separate arms. Hey, Queenie. Hey,
Queenie.
Artie.
Should we say it at the same time? Jinx.
Yeah.
Play
I don't
like
have a
kids.
coach.
So you said you liked your Subaru build.
I did. It was fun. I did it all in a day.
Yeah, even the paint and the decals, and there's probably a lot of decals on that body.
Oh, it's a ton.
Was there over 100 of them?
No,
Over 80?
I think it was 67 was the highest number I saw.
And you had the right paint color too for it, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually had some metallic blue, but I bought another case, but I'm
Did
used
you
to
have
bigger
the-
bodies than this, so one camera.
Did you have the TS the same color for the hard bodied wing?
It comes in that color, and it was close enough that I wasn't going to worry about painting it.
Oh, well, I
'Cause I
thought
knew-
I'd still have to do it. So,
I knew I was going to take it out and beat it up.
well, I gave you ideas on what to do. So to
You
go through
did.
that grass, but I always thought you should till that crap out of that place anyways.
I will, but right now I have a 1951 Ford 9N tractor that does not have any of the fun functions.
You have a rake behind it that it can pull.
No, I don't have the box scraper with the, I would need a box scraper with the arms.
Oh, so that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Hank, can I ask you a question? You do a lot, you build a lot of these, right?
Is it RC related?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bushing or bearing, you see in here where the main,
Oh, you're too high up. Bring it back
Oh,
down.
right here.
You can bring it up, but I mean, put it under the camera.
Yeah, okay, sorry. See that main bushing right there?
Yeah.
Shows in the book that's all that goes in there, right?
Yeah.
And then
Well-
okay, because it shows in the book like there's another insert, but I never put nothing in there. Looks like
That's where
another
your rattling is.
bearing goes.
You should replace the
Pull up
that
the-
bushing with a bearing.
Let me pull up the manual. Somewhere.
I know you all. I know you all.
They
bearings
didn't give me
got
them,
out.
Brad. They didn't give
What?
me them. They didn't give me them.
It's all bushing.
No, I thought you would have bought some bearings for it.
No, I did buy a bearing kit, but they didn't give me these bearings. That's why if they did, it would be bearings in there because I got bearings and all the other stuff.
No,
Well,
you should have,
I've
in your
noticed
bearing
sometimes
kit, you should have had a
stuff
bearing
in
for that.
with all the bearings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you better find a bearing that fits that. That your bearing could be going. The bushing could be going bad already.
But that's where
So
the
that's-
output track goes. That should have been,
that's on page 10.
I'm looking at page 5 right now.
Yeah,
You're saying page 10?
page 10. And it's no, it's BA 13 in F7. Yeah, see right there?
see right there?
Says,
Yeah, but it's probably in there because your bearing or your bearing
Yeah,
goes in
yeah.
this plastic. This is a F7 is from a tree. That's
The
from a
F7 is a
plastic.
plastic spacer that fits the bearing in.
Now show me your thing again.
so the old one, this is the old one. It didn't,
Yeah, you should have a piece of plastic that goes in there.
but if I
It's in-
put a piece of plastic, here's the new one. I mean, it fits super, super tight. I have to take it out with it.
I've never built one of those, but I can't believe they wouldn't have a bearing in that area. Maybe that's a sleeve that holds the bearing in place. I don't know.
See, here's the bushing and there's the part, just slides like right in there.
It looks like there's a bearing inside that bushing if you hold it
Yeah,
up. Keith.
there should be a little bushing inside the case that fits the bearing into. It's a little sleeve.
So that should be it's a sleeve that holds the bearing.
Maybe it's in there already because it's solid, but if anything, if I put anything else in the solid, it'll be too thick.
There's
Okay, hold on.
there's-
No, there's something that you're what you're looking at on page 10.
Yeah,
That's the front. You're working at the rear right now, or the other way around. Hold on, let me show you. You have everything because that piece that you're holding right now is not the same piece as this. See, this has the battery compartment. You don't have the battery compartment where you are. This is a
okay. Sorry, I was looking at, right? I'm looking at the
This is the
front.
battery compartment. This is where the battery is. Your piece you're working on is on page 5. This is the piece you're working on right now, and the bearing goes directly onto it. There is no adapters. There is nothing.
Good call, Frank.
Page 9,
It's just I saw
page 5. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I saw his part, and it just didn't match with the picture I was looking at. I go, wait a minute, that's not the right part. Because it is
Yeah,
a
there's
4x4
page 5.
front,
It just
different.
slides right in.
Is that's bigger than 11 by 80?
Thank
isn't
you,
it?
Tank.
It's one of the larger bearings, not the 11 whatever.
It's a big bearing or a big bushing.
So it's got to be a 12. A 12 by whatever.
Doesn't matter which one it is. It's a 1150.
Oh, it's 1150. But I did confuse me. He looks like he had a sleeve there that the
1150.
That
It
was in the
does.
front though, Tank. That
That's
was
in
in
the
the front,
front.
Brad. I was on the wrong page.
Because the front has gears in it also, and there's a drive shaft that goes on top.
Right.
So the front has that bushing, which is kind of weird that they do that, but it does have that little plastic bushing.
Yeah, see, I got bearings everywhere else.
All right, Frank, Brad. When I built this diff, it never said to use the anti-wear grease, and I think I was supposed to. Is that
Ah.
correct or not?
Did it come with anti-wear grease?
Yes. But it
I
never
just
showed.
put regular. I put regular grease in mine. Like
So I
Believe it
put
or not,
regular grease in it.
the silver grease is, I sometimes think it's in some cases stickier than the marine grease.
So when are you going to do a video of that one? Next week? Next Tamiya Tuesday?
I did a live on it, but it did not go super well
Oh, no?
Well, it's got because of the
because
ground clearance.
Double one.
yeah, it kept getting stuck on my.
Ground clearance. And I told him that he could get the 75 millimeter ones that they put on the possibly fit from the XV01 to put on there. They might fit.
Okay. That's a TTO2, right?
Yes.
Correct. I still
Yeah,
got the
flip it
stock.
around, flip it around. No, I mean the bottom, where the bottom is. Yeah, that one does not have the stoppers for it, okay. But I believe if you put a little bit longer shocks, you might be able to get more height out of it.
Right.
Well,
Those are
this-
60 mil. I think you can put 65 millimeter, like 5 millimeter more. You should be able to get more. What are you
This
showing,
is-
Corey?
This is a stock TQ2, and I replaced the shocks with the racing 55s, and I found out that the 50s are more accurate to the stock for the touring car.
Okay.
But the like you said, if you were to go to say the 60s or 65s, you could get a little bit more suspension out of them, but I'm not sure if the rally and the touring car versions are that much different. But there's not much droop you
The
can
whole thing is
gain
broken.
more by getting more shocks on this.
Well,
So like
he could
65
see
would
the
probably be the
75.
limit.
These
I-
are 6.
Those are 60?
You could go to a 65, but
Well, the way
I would
this
wonder
one,
if the 75s would fit.
Be-
75
is
would
there-
probably be way too much.
Can
Yeah,
They
you,
wouldn't.
is there another place you can put that shock a little lower? Mount it?
it's on the
to-
lower, it's on the lower of the two and
Okay.
the upper of the
The bottom. Okay.
T-hub.
Well, you could go and take a look at all the options also for that car to see if you could get more of
Yeah.
what you need.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
Racing
options.
has some stuff for it.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff for it.
You could put even
I
a
would-
diff there, a oil filled diff in there if you wanted, I think.
You can. And the only difference I saw in the thing is a gasket.
Oh,
Correct.
actually, the gears are made out of a different material. They're white. I'm being serious. They're white with the oil filled.
I just
Yeah, I
put
was
2
just-
million
I was
in
just looking up
the
at the
front and 1 million in the rear and called it that.
Yeah, I just have
It
grease
leaks,
in it.
but not much.
I'm gonna put some heavier fluid in it to lock it up to help it, especially on my rougher terrain. And I gotta put shocks on it. It is so bouncy right now.
Are those
I
oil
agree.
filled or no?
What's that?
Those oil filled?
No, it's stock. I didn't put
Oh.
bearings in it, Brad. I just wanted to build it and get it done and
Okay,
then upgrade as I went.
I thought maybe it came with oil filled.
No,
One.
they're just
Some
equipped
do.
together. But I did have a 13.5 Hobby Wing set up, brushless, sitting around that I put in it, and it's got right now it's got a Gen Ace 130C drag race battery in it.
100C, wow.
130. The 6,000 milliamp.
Okay. But
could,
the ESC won't take advantage of that. Like that ESC won't take advantage of all the
It's a-
discharge.
It's a 80 amp. Yeah, this is the just stock 80 amp and a fixed time.
suck 80 amps out of it.
Yep.
So you're going to get the oil filled damper options for it, maybe a slightly like 5 extra millimeter.
I think my upgrades are gonna be locking or putting fluid in the diffs. Putting steering on it and trimming off the stops to give it a little more steering. And then do the aluminum bell cranks. And
You also
then the
want to
shock.
get something to help block the rocks too.
Yes, because when I thought I lost steering, I thought I
It was a
slipped
rock.
It was right
That is
in
the
between.
Bane of my existence. I've replaced so many servos and then realized when replacing the servo, there was a rock stuck in the bell crank.
Yeah,
Can you
it
show
was
me the
right.
shock tower in the front?
Sure.
Okay, so it is the same. I thought the shock tower were going to be different. Okay.
Even
Yeah. On
even if
in the
It's the same thing.
even if you got some pieces of Lexan, you could put it around the bell crank so the rock can't get in.
Right. I thought about just,
They
since
might
this
act,
moves together, put a piece of plastic across it.
they actually might actually have something as a hop up to stop the rocks too.
Because
Or
these
a-
are the yaw racing, but they're only the 5 mm, 50 mm
50.
shocks. And you can see that it's almost straight. The rear arms, they're
Right.
not sagging at all. So that's why you got 10 mm more, so it actually brings it down more. But if you actually get more, another thing you could try, the bottom shock, you can
Mhm.
actually find on the Tamaya tree longer arms here, longer bottom
ends.
arm, ball ends for the
Yes.
shock. You can actually try putting longer ones. That actually works also by making your bottom shocks a little longer.
I thought I had some, but the ones I have are 80s.
Okay.
So
Now I got a 7.5 turn on my TTO2. 7.5.
nice.
This-
I haven't seen that run yet then, Frank, or have I?
I was really
not
impressed
sure.
with those 13.5. I can only imagine how fast that is.
It's probably 50, 60 mile an hour car.
Because Jericho was running on 3S on his 12 turn Traxxas Fiesta Rally 4-wheel drive. And if I could get traction, I could blip it, stay with him with my 2S.
Okay.
But
If you
he
had a
pretty much
higher, if you had a higher amperage draw for your ESC.
he pretty much melted down his motor. It stopped and went into heat protection.
Uh,
I was like, why don't you put the 2S battery in it? He's like, I'm putting 3S on it. I said, okay.
I'm not
What
sure
you
if
got,
y'all
Corey?
can read that. That's a 7 turn. And
Yeah,
a
that's what
TA06. And I've got this over to 78 miles an hour so far.
Well,
I got a 4-turner in the drawer, but I don't think
I mean,
This thing I had beat like 4 X Maxes geared up in a parking lot race, and they was wondering how am I beating, 8S X Maxes in a parking lot race.
they don't weigh nothing.
yeah, they don't weigh anything. And that's why that's why you see hardly not as much damage as you would think with a triple digit crash.
Yeah, I haven't
Because they
broke
weigh
anything.
nothing.
I kind of fly up curbs, like as long as it's not a big curb, it more goes up the curb and then lands rather than smashing into things.
Well, that guy, Stuart Mack, he had him at over 150 miles an hour. He had him over 100 miles an hour. And I know he wiped out a few times at over 100 miles an hour. And I didn't see that much damage done to the vehicle because it's light.
Yeah, it takes a while. Unless you come to a complete stop quickly, they're generally pretty good at, surviving.
yeah.
He was running 4S's in his. He was running 4S's in those Mayas to get that speed.
So yaw racing has a whole bunch of different ones.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, the
So-
great ones are nice.
Tekken said they did it.
did.
And they ran the off-road shocks because they were less spring for the rally style.
Okay.
That's a 60 millimeter damper set.
See, these are 60 mil,
And that's the off-road.
but you measured and from ball end to ball end, you had 60.
That's what it said on this front one.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you need 65.
I don't know if there's 5 millimeters to give.
Take the
Well, if
shock
you
off and
take
see if
one
it'll go
off,
down 5 millimeter.
Yeah. If you take one shock off, you should see if it drops.
I'm pretty sure I had to compress these rears to even get them in.
Yeah, I agree. My 55s I had to unscrew the shock collars almost to like 3 or 4 mils from the top just to get a normal ride height.
What's up, Kurt? So I'll double check these. Pull out the handy
Hey Kurt, how you doing?
Actually, this rear one, oh, it's stuck into the shock tower. I was gonna say it's checking at 55, but it was stuck. So the front one might be loose from bouncing around the track where it's not twisted locked in. This back one is definitely twist locked in and it says 55. But it's not dropping.
Okay,
The shock is still lined up with the hole. It is at the bottom. I
So
think
you're
if I
saying
put
it
the,
won't drop anymore?
no, I think if I put CVDs in it, it would drop
Yeah. Yeah,
because
they have
it's hitting the
CVDs
dog
for that.
bone. Yeah, they make CVDs for it. But I think
Yeah,
I'm at the end of my travel with the dog bones.
So
Yep.
you're gonna get some CVDs to help get drop.
Eventually. I got Beat the Creek coming up. I can't
I
dump too
know.
much into this.
It costs money to enter into Beat the Creek, doesn't it?
It's 40 for the weekend and then 20 for camping, but I'm sure there'll be some kind of deal there or something I want.
there is always vendors.
Yeah. I think
Where is
Dennis's
Beat the
buddy is
Creek?
gonna be there, the lanyards by Tony, which Dennis was supposed to reach out and see about making one.
Those
What
are
wheels are those? I was gonna
Firebirds.
say,
Those are actually look nice, those rims.
yeah,
You really need to look up all the option lists for them. There's a lot. I could even
Oh,
look
I
at my
have, buddy.
I could even look at my book to tell you what's in them.
I've looked at them. And I said, this could get expensive. And I stopped for a minute because I think there's a couple cheap upgrades I can do, shocks, diff fluid, and the bell cranker trimming the edges so it'll turn a little more. That will make a bigger difference than anything.
Oil filled dampers may only cost you $30.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I plan on the
Plastic,
cheaper
but that's
stuff.
all you need right now.
Yeah, racing oil filled dampers, the big bores I bought were $40.
Yeah, it's
But I
40
did
for all
notice
four.
the double cardigan joints they are available in the SRX version. So I'm pretty sure like they may be available also, and they might also give you better drive shafts, than the universals.
Right.
Well, the cardigan shuns are really CVDs. Okay, CVJs or constant velocity.
They're double, so there's they do the same thing, but it gives you more more flex.
What's the problem, Keith?
Yeah, page 5 again, Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, my motor cover, that broke too. That broke right in half almost. It shows a bearing going in between them two screws. But there's
page 5, but which
right,
4 or 5? Yeah, it should be 4.
go down right. Yeah, it's on number 4. You see them two, the 3 almost go right, that bearing right there.
This bearing goes all the way up to here. This line, if you follow the line, it keeps going. It does not go where between the two screws. This is different. This bearing here goes in where your shaft is. This is where your drive shaft is.
Okay. I got him on the shaft already.
Well, you bought
can't have it
parts.
on the shaft because it's on the inside. On the inside, you need a bearing. Your bearing goes on the inside. Show me your cover.
The new one,
Yeah.
right here.
Okay, you got the bushing there. I don't know why you have a
Yeah.
bushing, not a bearing.
I don't know why either. They didn't send me one, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know where they're at. I'm gonna have to find them. And then this has got 2 bearings on one side and a bearing on the other.
When you get a
Yeah.
bearing,
But I'm gonna
set,
have to have a bearing in there.
yes.
No, because that's the shaft that actually sits in there.
Right,
It's that big shaft.
right here in
Yeah,
that
that's-
hole right there.
Yeah, that's your idler gear.
Yeah, so that's this one right here. So I don't need it. I got two bearings. I got one on this side and one on that side of the shaft. And it just goes, I got it wrong. Goes the other way, I think.
I think-
If you got the bearing set,
No,
you should have
you-
every bearing.
you had it
Goes like that.
nearby.
Flip it over,
Right.
Keith.
I
Flip
think
it
you
over?
Flip it over.
Yep. Because the wider part's gonna engage the thinner part of that gear next to it.
I don't know if it's gonna go in the hole that way. It
That's
won't
why you
go
gotta
in the
put it
hole.
first.
You gotta move the
You gotta
others.
put it first before putting your big one.
Oh, okay, put
Now
that
lift
one
that up
in
a little
first.
bit. There, now push that in and drop it down.
Okay, right like that. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now grease all that up.
Yeah,
Now, that you should, right, that one you just pulled up, it should have a long, no, the one you pulled up.
this one, yeah.
Yeah, where's the shaft for that? There should be a shaft there. It should drop even
Yeah,
lower.
it came out. It came out. I'm gonna have to. It doesn't fit
Because-
this way though. It doesn't fit with this piece on the bottom.
Yeah, because that's where your spur gear is gonna go. Your spur gear, your pinion gear is gonna grab that.
Hmm.
Oh, let me check the manual. Hold on.
It shows it up. Oh, that's the long one. Let me turn
No,
on the
no,
next
you had it
page.
right. You had it right. The fat part goes up.
Yeah, the fat part goes up. Okay.
Flip it back around. Yeah, this part, your pinion comes through, but the big part is actually up.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
And now this little part should still be big enough that it's gonna fit in that big hole that we just saw.
Yeah. And them two bearings, I was just freaking out for this other bearing, but I guess it's good.
I can't believe there's a bushing there. There should be a ball bearing where that bushing is.
Yeah, I know. I checked them all when I put it together, so I must have put a. It must
Oh, he's got it.
not came with one, Brad. I bought a
And-
bearing
and-
kit. What tank?
And when you put if you slide your dry shaft in there, is it loose, the dry shaft on that bushing? Just wondering if you have the right bushing in there. It's nice and snug.
Let me get it back into the. Let me find the. Should go into that hole, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice and snug. It don't move.
Okay.
It
And
don't
your
wiggle
bushing.
around or anything. I'm gonna give me some grease, and then I can put this cover back on.
Hey, electric, how you doing?
They must not have sent me one. I know I bought a kit for it. So
Or that just had bushings in it to save money.
well, no, they all had bushings. I bought a bearing set. I bought a bearing kit for when I built this.
Ah,
Did you
And,
get it from Fast Eddie's?
I don't know where I got it from.
Tim bearings?
No, I think Kurt looked it up for me and said, we said the bushings for this. I mean, bearings for this model. And yeah.
Kurt probably used Jim's bearings.
Let me see. I think there's a place where you can actually put a bushing instead of a bearing. And that's where you might have put that bushing instead. Or put a bearing instead of that bushing.
I'll be back at, I'm going to go look in my box, Maya box. I know I've got all that stuff together. Just make double sure. And I think I know where the bearings are.
Yeah, Keith, before you go. Too late, he's gone. Because everywhere it talks about these plastic bushing, these plastic bearings that they have. But this is the small wheel he just put, and he's got, and this is the one I want him to take off. This is the one that
Oh
actually
yeah,
has
oh yeah.
2 bushings, and there's 2 of them. But I know I saw a bearing, and this is exactly the same size as this.
Yep, yep.
So I
BA12.
made the mistake.
The idler gear has bushings and then the output should have bearings.
Yes. That's an easy swap since he's got it open.
Yep. He's still got to glue that motor case, but still cracked.
We're discussing TTO2s and the XFO1X that he's putting back together. And we just talked about the FMS, and we now need to talk about the Pitbull's batteries.
I didn't know Pitbull was a company.
Yep.
I don't want to start talking about Pitbull until I talk to Keith, because if I start talking about Pitbull when Keith comes back, we're going to have to stop and get him to change that bushing before it's too late, before he closes it up.
These are the Rock Beasts.
Okay.
They're 4.65. But they did really well.
4.65.
Yeah, instead of 4.75.
Speaking of TTO2s, I actually got to take my TTO2 out and I got a little bit of damage. Got some holes in the grill. What happens when you play tag with your friend with some other Tamiyas? Is like, yeah, of course you're faster than them. So I just tagged them a lot. And before I realized it, I'm missing most of my grill.
Me, a friend of mine posted a picture and I called him right away as soon as I saw it. I said, I want it. So he had this on his hood of his car. So he just
Oh,
found
nice.
it. And I called him up. I said, I need that for my car. So I got that for I think it's 20 or 25 bucks. I think I paid for it. So I was happy.
Did it
That
come?
is sweet looking.
Is that a stock livery or is that a custom one?
No, stock Tamiya, how it came for that car. And I believe the original car was supposed to be more of an orange color, but that one is actually red, which I don't care. Like, for what I paid for it, I don't care if it's not the right color for the.
Shade. It's still beautiful.
Oh yes, it's nice. But I do have to be careful with it because I kind of put that body on one of my fastest TTO2. So I kind of got to be careful.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I purposely bought the GTR just because the TTO2 SRX is coming out, and the hobby shop just texted me or called me and said it's coming out, or it showed up at the store. I got to pick it up, and I just destroyed the front end of the body. So now I'm like, do I go and spend $60 on another body kit to be a TTO2, a Tamiya body? Or do I spend the extra $110, $120 on another TTO2 kit and having all sorts of just parts that I'm never going to use just to get the body for cheap?
You know, Josh might buy the leftover stuff you have. Since he has a TTO2, you never know.
Yeah, I already planned on having, I got this TTO2 with the racing shocks, and like you said, the next upgrade would probably be the aluminum
Oh well, I know. Oh,
steering rack. But after that, I don't know what else to like. The shocks and the steering rack is the only thing that needs to be done on a TT02. I mean, to keep it stock, other than that, you're just going
Yeah.
crazy. Like an
You know,
SRX that has all new suspension, all new everything.
Yeah, and you know, the SRX is over $300.
It cost me $259.
Oh, well, you got it cheaper because I know in Britain it was over 300 pounds.
Yeah, Tower Hobbies and Horizon Hobbies has it for $259.99.
And you can use their coupons to bring for every $100 you get such an amount off.
1 second, Brad, so Frank can tell Keith about the bushings.
Steve, I need you to stop. Stop what
Okay.
you're doing. That small little tiny gear that you put there,
Yeah,
take it off and show it on camera again. No.
right there.
Okay, on that side, you got a bearing. What do you have on
Right.
the other side?
A bearing. There's bearings on both sides.
Okay. If I was you, I'd probably, well, the idler gear is probably going to turn fast also. So on the manual, it actually shows, and that's where probably the confusion was.
Yeah, it shows two
right
bearings right there.
Oh, these are
Those
what the
those
bearing kits come with, but your bearing kit probably did not have these, which these are the two bushings.
Mhm.
These are bushings that go in the idler gear, and they actually put plastic here, but your bearings were replacing the plastic one. So that's what I'm thinking that happened. Is that instead of putting the bearings on the wheel, you put the bearings on the idler gear, but I would have put the bushing on the idler gear.
Yeah. I can't find the bushings. I know they're all in a cup somewhere.
No,
No,
your
you have
bushings
it
are-
swapped, buddy.
No, what I'm saying is you have it swapped. You put the bushing where the output shaft is. Because right where your hand is, the plastic part there you have right underneath your hand.
Yeah. This one?
No,
Yes,
underneath
pull
your
the
hand.
bearing.
Yes, that one. You just
Okay.
touched it.
Yeah.
You just touched it. The big part.
Uh-huh.
The other one. The other one.
This one.
What's in the hole there? That's a
It's
bearing or
no, it's a bushing.
that's what I'm saying. That bushing goes in your idler gear.
It doesn't go there.
Swap them.
I would swap them if I was you. That's what I would do.
I can't believe there's not a bearing to go in the idler. When you get the kit, the bearing kit should have for the idler gear and that.
Yes,
this
it
is
should
the
have,
idler
but I
gear
don't know
then,
what he
Frank?
got. What I'm saying is, yes, take those bearings out of there and put the
Okay, and
bushings
put them in here.
Yes.
Okay, let me try that.
You see what Eclectic wrote, Frank?
Oh, I just put gloves on. I'm gonna have to take.
There's got to be a way to get the XF01X with every bearing for the gearboxes.
Yes, but I'm not sure which company he got or if the company fucked up or what happened.
They may have.
Because they made a fucked up. In other words, they counted all the plastic bushing that were there and replaced them with bearings. But the problem is there's two, or actually four, brass bushings, which they probably did not account for.
Jim's bearings, not Jim's, well, Jim's or Fast Eddie's probably would have made sure he had every last one done.
Yeah, I agree. They should have things done because I know I worked for a company called RC Screws for a while, and they sold screw kits so you can buy stainless steel screws for every type of kit you had. And this company, even though they were small, all the companies from MRC to Hot Bodies, Associated, Low C, X-Ray, everyone sent their manuals to him, and he would go through each manual and actually determine what screws he needed to replace every screw, and he would actually have custom screws made to fit the screws he didn't already have to put these screw kits together. So for a company that was making bearings to oops and not be in the city, it had to be an oops, I just didn't include it in this kit. Not it, I oops didn't put it in this series of kits.
So do you have any spare bearings lying around, Keith?
I don't know where they're at. I just went and
I
tried
would,
to
I
look.
would go, searching for them so you can make sure every bearing is in the gearbox.
But that's a thing also. If you have spare bearings, I know I do, but I don't. Not everybody's like me.
I know,
if
I don't
you-
know where they're at. I got them in a container like this, you know,
Okay.
but I don't think none of them, I would have used them if they fit. So that just, what does that do? Make the wheel spin better instead of the idler gear?
Yeah, because your output shaft for your gear, that's the one that's going to take more abuse.
Okay.
So, and it's going to turn faster. So it's going to be better for you to have the
And
bearing.
there won't be
there
no dirt in
on
here
there.
either. I mean, there won't be no dirt hitting the bushings because he's really
Yeah.
dirty when I cleaned him.
Just make sure you grease that shaft that goes in that little tiny gear that you just put. the
Okay, and
bushing
this
gear.
one in the bushing
Yeah,
gear.
just make sure you put grease on the shaft.
Yeah. I just took my gloves off. Gotta put them
You
back
gotta
on now.
grease that shaft. Yeah, I know. That's what she said.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll probably just pack it.
Now the problem with that is when you pack it and then you push the rod in, you just push the whole all the
Gonna push
grease out.
the stuff out. Yeah.
Just make sure the shaft is greased. That's all. You don't have to
Yeah.
put a lot. Just make sure it's greased. Okay, let's keep
Okay.
going.
Thank you. Thank you.
The other one was, oh yeah, we talked about this, that Jems put out a video with his grasshopper, and he did flip it kind of good. I think it was close to here. Let me see if I can't find it again.
How old
Little
were you
farther.
when you made that?
My
Josh?
dad made it for me when I was 6 or 7.
Oh, cool. That's cool. You still
Dad.
got that, man.
I didn't know I
Yeah.
still did. So my dad is past that tank. I think it's almost, yeah. My dad dropped off a box of RC stuff and it had like spot car tracks, RC stuff. And I dig through it and then there's the car. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't know this was still around.
Those pit bull shocks look nice.
Yeah, they sell this chronic shocks. I don't know them. I never used them, so I don't know. Kind of weird that it comes with I guess to adjust the shock here.
Mm.
What Brad found out is that Pitbull now sells gold LiPo batteries.
Is that supposed to be better than like regular LiPo batteries because they're gold?
Yeah, they're
I
gold.
would think Pitbull would make sure those are really good cells because of the type of products they sell. And it has it tells you how much power is left in the battery.
Not hours, percentage.
Yeah, percentage.
Oh, like
When it's
5% or 10% or.
No,
But where does it
5%,
show on? How does it show on that thing? Every battery has that thing.
Yes,
Yep.
you push the button here. You push a little button, and then this lights up.
Okay.
Yeah, those things are only accurate so much because if you have a bad battery, it'll tell you he's got a lot more than it's actually got. If your battery's only putting out 60 cc and it's rated at 80, that will tell you it's at 80, but it's really 60.
Okay, I completely agree with you, but what you got to realize is this is a 3 cell. It's a 3S battery. Okay, which means yes, this is the total of the 3S, and usually at 30%, this is storage mode, almost 35, 40% is storage. But this is LiPo cutoff. When it gets to 30%, that's when it LiPo and it's actually gonna light up and beep at you. So that's when your battery, you have to take it out. I completely agree with you that it's just an average because one cell might be high, one cell might be low, and the other cell might be high. So you might have a bad cell, but this still tells you have 60% or even 100%. So don't go by this all the time. Use your charger and use your charger to actually see what the cells are at and not this. This is a quick reference, not to check your cells, but a quick reference of what your voltage is at.
When you're running, I mean, you said
Perfect.
that comes, that's on the battery, right? Thanks. So if you're running
That's
out,
perfectly explained.
So what?
It's
so if
on
you're
the
running,
field to use it.
like if you're running around and you want to check how much battery is, you have to unplug it and plug that in.
Yes. To
Okay.
me, where I would use this is when I go to my car and I go find a battery and there's 5 batteries there. I grab the battery, I push on the button. Okay, this is the one I used a while back, or this is the one I that's full. That's when I would push on the button.
Yeah.
But me myself, I use a LiPo checker or something like
Yeah.
this to actually check your batteries. It's a
And that's what
voltmeter.
Axel Page did, and he says the panel's pretty accurate.
Okay. But
So-
again, if you have a bad cell, that checker won't give it to you because that just checks the total voltage
Average.
of 3 cells.
So should I get one of them things that you got right now for when I get, I'm looking
Yeah,
to
yes.
get a
You need to
LiPo.
have- You need to have a LiPo tester.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah, they're under $10. Like they're very cheap. This
Yes.
one, I got a even cheaper one, no, not cheaper one, but one that does less. This is actually a servo tester at the same time. And that's the reason I got
Okay.
this one is because this actually tests my servo at the same time.
In the LiPo,
So-
yeah.
And
Maybe if
LiPo,
I'm gonna
but
get one, I should get both.
He says, they said pure gold. What quality are we talking here? Ha, ha, ha.
to tell you the truth, I would never buy that battery from them because I don't care about the C rating. I don't do racing. I'm just a crawler. I put my on road once in a while just to have fun. So I would not spend that amount of money for that quality of battery. That's what I'm trying to say. They're good batteries,
Something-
but for me, no.
I just don't care for a soft pack in a land vehicle. Soft pack in an airplane, okay, but a soft pack on a car, that's asking for one crashed and a fire.
Yes and no, but if your battery is secure, you should have no problem. Just like Tony Cece said a while back, I told him the same thing as you just did. For bashers, I would use a hard pack, and he says he uses soft pack all the time and he never had any issues. But I agree with you, but he disagreed with me. So it's up to you guys what you want to use, hard pack or soft pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my bashers, I like to use hard packs, just in case.
Yeah, all
He's
my
got-
race vehicles,
Here.
everything big has a hard pack. The only thing that has a soft pack is my 24s.
Because how many times have you actually raced
Hey,
or
Jason.
on road or whatever and you tumble and the battery comes out or there's something that happens? Shit happens.
Yeah, I seen
That's
that the other
where-
day.
That's where that hard pack comes safe when you're bashing, to me.
Seen that the other day. The guy took an X-Max and launched it and it flipped over and his battery went flying out.
Hey, Jason, are you back in Colorado yet? He says I use both. If you secure your stuff, you're good to go.
No, he didn't say good to go. He said your GTG. Bleh.
Okay, now what's going on?
Okay, now you gotta line up everything.
Yeah, I
Uh-oh.
did. It's smooth, but when I put the cover on, it has a truc.
The truc.
Is that the cover that's cracked?
No,
Are you gonna get on the panel tonight or no?
it's like right there.
Check your gear right there. Make sure the top of it's not chewed up or something.
Now there is a way that goes in, eh? There's a up and down on that thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta check that. Let's see, that is this way.
See if I
So
can't find
this
it for you.
must be down. Yeah, I think I got it in the
So
right way.
you have to see the screws when you put it in to the hole. And are
From
you-
the. Yeah, so I'm holding everything.
Okay, back it up towards you a little bit more. I want to see something.
Oh,
Okay, when I look at yours, when they're saying to put it in, they say to use the one that the motor goes on. Is that the piece you have?
no, you want me to
No.
switch it? Switch it?
Do the same way they're doing it here. So use the one that the motor would attach to it.
So you drove from Florida to Colorado? I wonder how long that took.
Let's see here, this one. Crap in there.
Okay, so now you got the right one. Let me go back to my PDF.
Yeah, yeah,
So the first one that should go in is your big one here.
the big
It's
one,
not
the
that
big
I
one,
you
right,
have, but it's your differential gear,
right,
and you
right.
should be able to see the screws.
Okay, okay. Can I lose that? Oh, here's a shaft. And then this one goes like
And
that
then you'll put the other one into it.
on top, right? So you can
Yeah.
see the top things. And then this one goes on.
And then you put your last one, and then you close the cover.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel no cookies no more. Like I put a whole bunch of grease in here. Where did it go to?
Yeah,
My
I
hands.
that's the thing I'm having going on with my tear scorcher. I put it in there and it looks like I put tons of stuff on it. And
I'm
next
good,
thing you
Tank.
know, it doesn't look like it's anything on it. We go after the motor spins. I'm like,
Right.
what? So I
I've been-
sprayed as much lithium grease in the gearbox until it came out before the motor was put back in. 28 hours of driving each way. Did it 2 days each way with a night in Texas. That's fast. How fast are you going? From Colorado to Florida, 28 hours? Oh, that's fast for my friend going from here to Colorado.
I use Phil Woods BMX waterproof grease on all my transmissions. That grease is one of those things, like it just lasts. Like you can put it in your transmission because it's waterproof. You can run it through the mud, grease, anything. And that stuff just doesn't leak out. It just sticks in place. And you don't have that problem of where did my grease go?
What's the name? What type of grease?
Phil Woods, it's BMX waterproof grease. You get it at a bike shop. It's in a
Oh.
green tube.
Wood grease.
Phil Wood, like
Wood
Philip
grease.
Wood. Phil Wood grease.
Uh-huh.
That stuff I've been using it for 20 years, and I haven't found an instance where that grease didn't work great.
I know Texas has some 80, 85 area of speed limit.
Yeah, I was on 85 the other day.
Is it 85 miles an hour? You can do 85 on it?
Hmm. I didn't do, I was doing about 70, 72.
Trying to make the old Kia last.
Yeah. Slow lane getting past like I was standing still, that's for sure. Toll road. Hate toll road.
Said he drove
Pflugerville
across the
Hospital.
longest bridge in America. You know, I thought
Yeah,
I
that's in
thought the long-
Louisiana.
Yeah, I thought the longest, well, it's multiple bridges. It's long, it's 103 miles from the going to the Florida Keys.
I've drove that. Why ain't you closing right?
Lake Pontchartrain is a really long bridge. That's amazing to sit there and start on one side, see all horizon, get to the middle, see all horizon, and get to the end and just see horizon.
Put your axle shaft in to make sure it spins, Keith, before you crank those too tight.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so what was the, you were talking about the Florida Keys bridges? Corey, you were talking about the Florida Keys bridges?
Oh, Lake Pontchartrain in
Oh,
Louisiana.
Lake Pontchartrain. I thought that was only like 35 miles long or something.
I just know that if you start on
It's still
one
got that.
edge, if you start on one edge of the Pontchartrain and you look ahead of you, you just see the bridge ahead of you and just horizon. The lake is the farthest
What
point
the
you can see.
hell?
You make it to the middle and you can still see just horizon and no land on either side. It's just one of those, that's a really long just lake where you're in the middle of nowhere.
If you loosen them up just a little bit, Keith, instead of taking all the way
Yeah,
out,
I thought it was
Well,
35 to 23 miles long. Yeah.
Still got that right here. Goes good
Maybe.
all the way around, and then it right here it goes.
you got one tooth chewed up.
Yeah, they don't count as one single bridge, but it's multiple bridges, but it's still amazing.
it's
It's
not
a
on
series of
this.
causeway. Yeah,
The diff because
but it's still a bunch of
I
bridges.
can't get that diff apart.
Well, you know it's not the diff because it wouldn't turn with your two axles in it.
So what
If,
do you
if
think
it's
it is?
just slight,
Her?
if it's slightly chewed up on one of those plastic gears, if you're careful, you can take
could
a
be
hobby
vibrant.
knife, clean it up.
Clean it up, yeah. I gotta find out where it's at though.
Well, spin it to where you feel it, and then look at the mesh of each of the gears.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the axle shaft
Uh,
back in it after I pop this off.
Hey, Guru. So,
What's up, Guru?
you know, the longest bridge in the world, I think, is in China, though. I think he said it's like 70 miles long or something like that.
What the hell?
He says
I
it
think
was
I'm gonna make,
30 minutes out of his way to go over Pontchartrain.
I'm gonna make Brad cringe a little bit here.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's
I
running
see
that
this.
Kamaya.
Body scrape. The tire's coming unglued. Let me go back because that's where. So I was actually bashing at the skate park. You can see the skate park in the back.
This your video, Tank?
Yeah, that is my video. It's all
YouTube
YouTube
video.
music. My video and YouTube music, so we're all good. My Stampede. Pete doesn't like Stampede.
No, they just don't like me.
I don't like anything Traxxas.
Look what they did to our friend Tony.
You
It's
know,
horrible.
that's not their fault. It's the lawyers.
You guys can
Not
go have
Traxxas.
fun.
It's not.
Oh,
It's not the It's not Traxxas's fault. It's the lawyer's fault.
They
oh,
work for
really?
Traxxas.
If
The
it
RC
wasn't
didn't
the
do
Lord's
anything.
fault, why would they be going after HBO for HBO Max if they're not just going after every fucking little thing?
They even went off after Dodge for having TRX on their fast truck.
Yeah, but it's not
It's-
the RC's fault if they make good RCs.
Well, that's the thing is they only went after everybody who had a higher Google rate than they did. If you look up TRX4M parts, everybody on that list came up higher than Traxxas for parts.
Okay, I agree. I probably agree with you. But if you were the owner of the company and you registered the name and that trademark, would
Right.
you like anybody else to use that and make money with it since you paid for it? I'm being a devil's advocate here.
Yeah, me
Yes.
too, Tank. It's not, you know.
I agree 100% on the hey, you're using our trademark, with the fact that they were basically targeted and without warrant of, hey, we're giving you a warning of, hey, anyone who's making more money than we can are the targets. Like that's
Everybody
kind
got that their website got turned down or taken off, just like Tony did get a letter. Tony, the host for the website where Tony had his website, received a letter.
Yeah, the host did, the
Well,
owner of the website or whatever.
Okay.
They didn't forward it.
So Traxxas did their job. They gave the host the letter. It's the host
That-
fault
right.
that they did not give Tony the letter in a proper time. Tony got the letter
I didn't hear that.
after the site was taken down.
Yeah.
I did hear that.
Yes.
But their aggressive stance is still an aggressive stance, no matter how,
Yes, it is.
which way you could fold it. Like, yeah, they were in their rights. They were 100% within their rights. I won't, but their aggressive
they
stance
were
is
within
still.
their rights, but and I knew that it was probably going to be a battle when they first started taking out the TRX-M, because as soon as they brought out the TRX-M, they said, and here's all the hop-ups. So to me, it's a great marketing to do that, because they know as soon as they sold a TRX-4, they lost a shitload of money on hop-ups.
Yeah.
And now they wanted to make the money on those hop-ups because they came out with the hop-up with all the brass, with all their nice things. They came out with it. But I guess it wasn't as active as they wish, and that's how they could.
Did you
And
see
they
what-
probably did the Google search also.
They're
know what
just
it-
mad that they charged $40 for
Yeah,
a
that's
bearing kit
ridiculous.
for the
But
TRX4M when you can get it from Fast Eddie's for 16.
yeah,
Ridiculous.
Okay, but are they the regular bearings or are they the more expensive bearings there? Brad keeps saying those name
Yeah,
Ceramic.
sealed,
ceramic bearings.
ceramic sealed, yeah.
Like I don't know. Like that's a question I'm asking. Are the Traxxas the ceramic or are they just regular bearings?
That I don't have
I can't-
an answer for. I don't know how good the Traxxas bearings are, but I can say that if you were to buy generic bearings from anybody,
Yes.
unless they say these are top of the line ceramic bearings for the TRX 4M, nobody said that yet. They're just bearings.
And to tell you the truth, I would never put ceramic bearing on a TRX 4M. I don't see a benefit. They don't roll fast enough to have ceramic bearings, first of all.
You know
So
what?
they
Practice
probably
bearings
are
Our regular,
overpriced.
Jason says.
You know what,
What,
Tank?
Steve?
But
You know, it shows you to put these screws down, but the screws are hitting this other gear. That's what that little tunk. Every time I hit a screw, it goes boop.
You might have used too long of the screw. Maybe
No,
you
the
thought-
screws are the screws. The screws came the
Okay.
screws.
well, if it works better on that side, leave it that side then.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it over.
It's worth a try.
They are not ceramic. So yeah, so they probably
Yeah,
are
right there.
overpriced, but the rest, I think I don't know if the price was different, like for the brass knuckles and things like that, how much difference they are. I don't know, but they're just protecting their name. And I think there was a lot of abuse. And I think it's good for the market and good for the manufacturers to actually say, okay, we got to watch out because somebody else might do it also.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith, Jason says you should send it to him.
In a bag?
Yeah, so there's a problem with my diff.
No, it runs smooth the other way. I'm gonna leave it the other way. Just see what it's like. And every time I hit it right where that screw is, it goes took.
All good.
Jake's here.
Don't do it that way.
You probably put too much shugu in there and you couldn't collapse it or screw it in all the way, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I bought Traxxas brass, my TRX 4M, and yeah, they were expensive.
And it's going to be expensive because it's, a name brand too, but that's where they're making their money. They didn't make their money on the RC, I heard.
Sort of like they say Bugattis they're not making money on Bugattis, they're selling them for cost because
Oh yeah.
they're millions of dollars to build.
Yeah,
I'm just here.
I mean,
I've
their
worked at
RCs are friggin' cool, I like them.
Yeah, I've worked at a couple hobby shops and I've noticed that the kits and the cars, the hobby shops make almost nothing. Like if you were to sell a $300, $500, $700 kit, the hobby shop makes only $6 or $7 on it. But if you were to sell a $7 part, like a little random part, they've only paid $2 for that part. So they make $5 off that part. So when you come with these kits, the hobby shops make nothing off the entire kit. It's all the little parts, and that's why Traxxas is so upset because the accessories make way more money.
Mhm.
Hello,
Well, I guess
David.
that didn't matter, Tank. Still doing it. I just brought my hobby shop brisket and some bunch of pulled pork
Oh, yeah.
today. Yeah. A loaf of bread. We made 2 briskets yesterday, so.
You use a pellet smoker or a traditional smoker for your brisket?
We just put it in the oven for 8 hours.
This
The
one I was
stove.
actually live, doing a live at the skate park.
You see what
No, I'm
EE
gonna go
wrote,
over it.
Frank?
Hey,
Electric Electric wrote something you should read.
okay. I like going over that thing. Bang.
That makes me want to take my TTO2 out to the skate park.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. And they take a bashing. They take a pretty good bashing. Like you can send it really high and the bumper and all that. It really protects it. And
Is there plastic is like my plastic?
I don't know what you did to
Well-
yours, but that usually never happens. It's the first I see that.
Hello,
Well,
John.
I took my.
I'll show you where it broke.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Right there. Oh, I just broke the whole thing off. Yeah, it broke right
damn.
there.
Big heads in there.
And the motor mount was broke too.
Traxes don't get upset. They
Bye,
get rid.
bye, Robert.
Is that what you wanted me to read?
Literature.
Oh, what he wrote about, about them just getting rich or something. He was making
Yeah.
a joke.
They don't get upset. They get rich.
Yeah.
I might just have hit a rock, right in the right spot, probably. My
Well, you
luck.
also
Of
skimmed
course.
off some of the plastic. He wore off some of the plastic. He probably made it thinner.
Of course, Traxxas gets rich. It's a company that's made to make money.
I didn't wear
Uh,
off any
You
plastic.
start a business or start selling stuff. Are you starting a business to lose money or a business to give stuff away? Or do you want to
Right.
make money with it?
Right?
Hey, like I've said before, Henry Ford said he could give the cars away and make money on repairing them.
On
Make all
repairing
that
them?
money. I swear these guys are getting paid to talk good about Tamaya.
No, about
No, nobody's paying me to talk anything about Tamaya. I like Tamaya just because I've had a lot of them and they earn the reputation of being a good brand for what they are. They're not claiming to be anything they're not.
This
Yeah.
Tamai is being a pain in my ass, so
Or maybe you've
It
been
could
a
be
pain
10
in the
pounds of
ass
shoe doing.
it's been 10 pounds of shoe goo. Yeah.
well, one thing for sure is you cannot run a TTO2 like Gems RC's got. You cannot run that on the grass or any type of tall grass or any grass period.
No.
Even like you can't.
No,
Yeah.
But
tall
the
grass is the
XV01
enemy of all RCs.
The XV01 can because it's got 75 millimeter shocks.
Yeah,
doesn't
but
matter.
still.
It doesn't matter the shocks. I've had people try to race me like, hey, I got the fastest 8S Creighton or whatever. And I go out there with my completely souped up HPI Baja 5 BSS. And these guys want to race around a football field with grass 10 inches long. And like, these guys show up with Creightons and they're blowing up their speed controls because they're trying to drive in tall grass. You're idiots.
That is correct, Big Head, for what they are. You cannot compete with it. You can't take a Tamaya and think you're going to do what a Arma Creighton's going to do. You
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
That's stupid. But turn the table around. Arma does not have anything to compete against Tamaya.
Yes,
for what Tamiya
A-
does.
an Arma Typhon, their 8 scale buggy has no competition against, say, a Losi 8 scale buggy or a Kyosho 8 scale buggy. They may be the same thing, but it's not going to compete.
Well, the TLR version, the one that Team Losi built of the Typhon was to help maybe compete against it because it was made by them. They put their own spin on it. To the
But that's
Typhon.
that's a 110 vehicle, though, Brad.
8th was the
No,
Typhon.
the TLR is that an 8th?
Is
I
that
don't
an
know
8
if
scale?
The
TLR
Losi version of the Typhon is 8 scale, or
Oh,
was it 7?
hey, John. You didn't see you there.
I'm here. Eat some ice cream at the moment.
I want some ice cream.
Oh, it says, yeah, but the Tamiya looks scale. Not, yeah, they don't look out of proportion because they make the body scale. 90% of all the bodies they have is all licensed body anyways. So that's why they look good, is because they make things scale.
Yeah, they have a variety of vehicles. I mean, if you would go to your whatever, if you go throughout their history of what they made in RC, they had so many different vehicles. It's amazing how many different bodies and vehicles they ever had.
Well, Tamiya, before making RCs, were a model kit. They made replica and models of RCs, not RCs, but cars.
Cars, yeah.
And then they said, okay, let's make RCs,
Yeah.
radio control cars. And since we have all the bodies for it.
Yeah. So
You know,
this
Revell
is
can't compete with Tamiya. Revell tried to make on occasion RC cars, and they couldn't compete with Tamiya.
yeah, this is an original Tamiya. Actually, I'm gonna, just to do it, I'm pulling the plastic off.
Why?
This is the original XR311 from Tamiya. That was their very first suspension model. It actually uses, if you can see it here, there's little torsion bars. That was
Yes.
their original suspension, just to be able to give you a RC car with suspension. This was the first released RC model with suspension, and it was from Tamiya.
Cool.
They
I
were
was
one
like,
of
I
the
still
original.
want one of those. I still want one of those.
I did send you an email, Psycho. I hope you received it.
And now that I remember, those used to break a lot because they were using plastic, and now they went to metal on those.
Yeah,
Well,
the re-release had a lot more of the metal gears in the inside, because the original version was definitely brittle.
Kurt was supposed to take his
311 is
Tamiya.
less brittle.
I guess I can't talk. Go ahead, Brad.
I said the version of the XR311 is more robust compared to its original, because they decided to it needed the metal, where it was plastic, it made metal on it, like the torsion bars.
Ready?
So I do like how they have the motor sitting where it would be in that car anyway.
That's a funny place for being at breaking, huh? Broke all the way off.
He said he got it. Kurt said he got it right.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tank.
What were you saying, Tank?
Kurt was supposed to take his TTO2 and actually crash it in the curb to see if it was going to survive. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I
He
put
hasn't
that-
done that yet.
But yet he put a fast motor on it and ran it at night. Well, I hope you get more fun. Get the fun out of the I sent you some variations of people's rally races, Josh.
You did. You sent me a lot.
What do you think of the one in
I was at work today, Brad. I didn't get to watch him.
okay, Morovia. It was in Morovia.
Electric RC says, don't they release about 12 RCs a year? They do. Tamiya releases a lot of RCs a year, but it's usually on the same platform that they've used for years, like the TTO2 or TTO1 or whatever they have.
Either that or it's
This year they came out with 2 or 3 new chassis, Brad.
Yeah,
2 or 3.
yeah. I think. There might be more chassis coming out that are new this year, but no one knows yet. But yes,
Yeah,
they have
and
2 that are
chassis,
out this year, and they seem to come out fairly frequently with at least 2 a year. New chassis.
Especially new chassis, but they come out with a lot of new release for bodies, which is kind of cool.
They also when you go like the TAOs, those have become different chassis because of the different setups they put on the chassis of the suspension system and everything. So they take an existing nameplate and then they change it around the way mechanically works.
Yeah,
or they always or they pop out with a re-release.
Well, of course they do a lot of re-release,
or different versions of releases.
Well, they put different bodies on a similar chassis.
No, I'm just saying they got the black edition, they got the green edition, they got the candy apple maroon edition, the gray edition, metallic, It's like skills, man. Taste the rainbow.
Yeah,
but they also change around existing nameplates like the TAOs. The TTs they had their own. They changed the TTO to TTO2. The CCO1,
D's, C's, D's, Z's.
the TTO series, the TTO series, they're all just crazy because like you have the TTO series, you'd have the Pro, the MS, the R, you'd have different series like that. And then you have the TTO 2. Now they have the TTO 02 SRX, which has the the TRF suspension, TRF 419 suspension attached to. They take the $1,000 Tamiya suspension and put it on the $100 chassis, and then they raise the price to $300.
Eric says I'm waiting for a Brad edition.
Hey, Tank.
If there only was one.
Will the Beetle fit on a TTO2 or a TTO1?
No,
not at all, huh?
You'd rather play with Legos.
It's not the same wheelbase. It's not the same width.
It's not.
If you want one that fits on it, there is companies that actually makes Beetle bodies that will fit on.
Like Killer Body.
Okay.
Killer
On the
Bodies
TTO1 or TTO2. What is it? Just too long?
Yes.
I believe there's a Beetle body for the Rustler.
Yep.
Yeah, I got one for my Stampede. I'm just saying if this gives me a hard time, which I hope it's not gonna.
Big Ed said I'd rather play with Legos. Sure, go ahead.
I'm still a big kid. I love Legos, but I kind of grew out of Legos.
If I go to Beat the Creek, I should just bring Tamiya's. Just CCO1 and CCO2.
That's all. Just bring it TTO1.
Just to show them. Just to show them that it can go anywhere their truck goes.
Yeah.
just to shut them the fuck up.
I think this was beat the Tamaya, not beat the creek.
Hey, Frank, I should have sent you this video, but I didn't. There's this guy in Japan. Yeah, he took a CCO2, but he had he put the new more modern body Hilux on it. He put a 13.5 turn brushless on it and ran it. He put the CCO2 with a 13.5 turn brushless. It was running fast and it ran good. It still looked like it had a lot of stability.
Cool.
It was acting like a rock hopper instead. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
Hey,
Lego
Brad.
does make RCs. Lego makes our radio control RCs.
That they do.
They
I'll
don't
go
go very
get
fast.
in some here.
John Martin
Hey,
has some.
Brad, you might know the answer to this question. What chassis is the F-250 high lift on the Tamiya series?
I've never seen a nameplate for it. They call them the high lift series.
Yeah, I have one. I've always wondered, like, to break it from a shelf queen, is it worth trying to actually, like, hey, will it crawl?
I think it would be. I think it could trail run.
I'll be right back.
Well, it definitely trail runs,
All right.
but
Okay,
will it
John.
crawl?
There are people who have done major work to those vehicles to make them crawl.
I was thinking that might be necessary to do major work because the axles are beautiful, but I don't know how. Like, there's no
Where's the
articulation in that
part?
truck.
Sean always makes fun of Tamaya like David does, but he has given credit to their semis, and he felt he got in trade in one of the high lifts. He got the Tundra one, and he says he changed a lot of things on it. That he put stuff from other companies onto that chassis. I think he did. I think it was the same chassis, but he put a lot of other extra parts from other companies, like the gearboxes and stuff like that. But he said he kept their drive shafts because their drive shafts were really good. The drive shaft of that car is very good.
Just to
Yes,
clarify
they are.
something with Big Head. Big Head said 13.5 turn brushless question mark. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, because some people like to talk about KV and not turn. The equivalent to a 13.5 in KV is a 3500. So a 3500 motor is a 13.5 turn motor.
They can even take brush motors and equivocate to the speed of a certain brushless.
Yeah.
Depending
Well, if
on
you
the
take a
number.
13.5, if you take a 13. Sorry about that, a 13.5 turn brush motor and put it against a 3500 kV, you should get about the same speed.
They're very
See, the problem with what I found with those comparisons are in different classes. When we were running stock class touring car or stock class off-road, we would run a 27 turn brushed motor in stock class. But now a 27, like a stock class for a two-wheel drive buggy is 17.5 turn, but a stock class in touring car is a 21.5 turn brushless motor. So it's like we can compare so much, but there's at the same time to compare different classes, there's a lot more into it that changes.
Yes.
Like
I mean,
a 19 turn brush motor was the spec class, and that's now would be a 13.5 in off-road or a 17.5 in on-road compared to a 21 or 17. it's hard to compare exactly the motors.
Is that your
But
Lego
they,
truck,
but they
John?
put them on dynos and they test them and they see what the same RPM is and they check also the torque levels. So I just know that people have shown comparisons between this is equivalent, this threshold is
So there's the chart to tell you what a turn motor is equivalent to kV. Now, keep in mind that's on a 540 can. When you go to a bigger can, your kV changes a lot.
And
Well-
the stock rotor and stuff.
All I have to say is my 13.5 and 17.5 motor are higher kV than that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Look at a KV, 11,900 KV per 2.5 turn brush.
But yes, Gems, I did go grab it.
What do you mean
Nice.
by a pullback motor? Oh, I see what you're saying. They do have science project kits that do that. They have.
What is this catching on?
Is that that's I forgot. Have you always had that?
Yeah.
It's
That's cool.
you tried to crawl it yet?
Yeah, it's been crawled
Does it crawl at all?
a little bit. I gotta figure out why this thing is. Okay. That's why.
Your FPV.
You gotta be jealous. I want one of those.
They don't make this version of this. They make a
Oh, that's
similar
cool, John.
version, but not this version. This version has been replaced. This is a collector.
Now they have a pick your kit for cars. You can get a Bugatti or some older GTR. Kits, design your own or something like that.
Big Ed is being stupid. Does Tamiya make a car with a pullback motor?
And I
Does
said they
Arma?
probably
Does
do on
Traxxas?
the they probably do on those educational series.
The educational Chevy, yeah.
Yeah, they probably do on an educational series.
Brad, have you ever tried those four-wheel drive slot car things?
No, I have not. I'm not interested in it, but it's really big in Japan.
I probably spent about $900 because my neighbor bought his grandma bought a track, and yeah, I played with it in his house, and that was it.
Mhm.
They are fast. I'll give them that. They are fast, those things.
They got one of them at the hobby shop.
I've
Ripsaw?
seen them have a track that
Nice.
is some of it's
Cool.
submerged in water, and they have them running through it.
What is it, John? Double A's?
Yeah, I did see
eight double A's
some of
and
those
eight
cars
double
run
A's
through
in a
water.
box.
That's amazing.
8 double A's.
Wow.
Yep.
When did you get that one? I don't think I remember you having a tank version.
Oh yeah, I do.
See, that's for me because I'm the tank. That one is actually for me.
I mean, what kind of remote?
It's an IR remote,
Okay.
2 little sticks, and that's it. With the IR, I actually got the ability right here to select channels, so I can actually have more than one remote to do different things. But I need 2 of these.
Yes, you can. but no, you've got to get an RC, so don't even go there, Guru. It has to be an RC.
Let's see. I don't look at this.
Hey Brad, got a question for you.
What?
You
Does
know,
your truck look like this?
Yes, the same exact color.
Yeah, but I bet it doesn't look like this underneath it.
What did you do? Do you put a brushless system in it?
There's no
nothing in it.
suspension on it. There's no steering. There's no ESC. There's no motor. Oh,
That you didn't buy a boost. Is that the boost one?
oh, there's the upgraded transmission.
I mean, I could buy that for an upgraded 2-wheel drive.
Yep.
Are they gonna have a fit about that? I mean, as long as it,
Why? Why are they going to have a fit?
they shouldn't. I was thinking they shouldn't have a problem with it. So what if you're not using a slash spot chassis or its setup?
That particular class that I'm putting that in, it's a short course.
Oh, I thought you were gonna run it. I thought you were gonna run it with your ovals.
I am. That particular class is short course only. The class that is the problem is the class that is the mud bosses, because that's all stock tracks and slashes.
Does it have to be a stock slashes?
Yes, with stock 12-turn electronics.
Well, you could put stock electronics that you have. What are you waving for?
I'm leaving. I'm waiting for you guys to stop talking so I can say bye.
Oh, see you later,
Oh.
Tank.
Bye,
Hey, thanks
Tank.
for your help,
Okay.
Tank. I appreciate it.
I made you the host, Brad, so you can shut down the stream when you
All right.
leave. See you later.
I'm out too. I gotta work tomorrow. So
Bye,
That's
Josh.
right.
I gotta work tomorrow too, but I'm not leaving just yet.
Good.
see you guys.
See you
Thanks for
later,
having me.
Josh.
Hey, John, you could still use that chassis and just put Traxxas electronics in it.
I'm not putting Traxxas electronics in it.
You try to get around it. You know what I mean?
No.
Kalman's
Yeah.
way better than Traxxas.
Hey, Brad, take a look at this.
Yes. Is that all they?
Can you guess what this is?
Spare parts.
Damn it.
That's the front bumper, the motor, the ESC, the
From
ESC
that-
receiver, the servo, and the links.
From the boost.
Yep.
Damn dirt.
And matter of fact, there's the shocks.
Well, what are you going to do with all that?
Well, I'm kind of strapped for cash at the moment. I had an expensive day, so let's just say I got the car. Then the wife decides to destroy her phone this morning, and now I have 2 new phones.
Yeah, that's an expensive day.
Plus parts coming.
What parts? All Traxxas stuff to put in it?
There's Brad. What don't you get? There's not going to be one part of Traxxas in any
Okay.
of these cars. If I refuse to run the Traxxas cars that I have, and went out and purchased a new vehicle to make a race car out of, why would I put Traxxas shit in it?
Just so you could run against the mud bosses. That's why.
I got one.
Traxxas is not a race
I already
vehicle.
have a 4-wheel drive setting that I could very well make rear-wheel drive again.
But you want a 4-wheel drive set, and so you're not going to do.
Exactly. So I found a way around it, and eventually there might be a second.
Okay.
And so, in other words, you're going to save that parts for another boost.
No. The same parts that I tore out of that, they're getting torn out of the other one.
So you're making
Because-
a bunch of boost racers.
What's that?
You're making a bunch of boost racers.
Well, yeah.
How much was that upgrade gearbox for the boost?
Well, it all depends. Are you just getting the case? Are you getting the diff? Are you changing the spur gear out of it? Are you?
What you did?
Probably about $60 there.
And how much is it for the upgrade for all the internals then with it?
That is everything.
Oh, that is everything. That's the upgraded diff gear and the metal gears and everything.
That's a transmission case, the spur, and the outputs to the front and the rear. That's all that is one gear and 2 bearings. And the slipper. That's it.
I could just get a metal diff for my car if I wanted to, right?
Yeah, but why would you?
I don't know. I think if I would have kept my 4600, I could have put it in that 2-wheel drive. It would have taken it with the metal gears.
I don't know.
Drop a castle system back in it.
I don't know because I can't remember what size motor shaft that has on it. Because right now the 4-wheel drive Sentinel that you actually drove was only a 3200, but it was a 5mm motor shaft.
And it was 3S only.
Yeah. And it was stupid. So what would a 4600 do in it? And not only that, you're talking it might be the 3mm shaft or whatever it is versus the 5.
I'm gonna run the car soon, Derek. But I gotta run my. I think later this week I'm going to be running my my Thunder Tiger yellow buggy next.
Like I said, Brad. Backups in case I break the links.
So what are you going to do with all the old stuff? And what are the stuff you pulled out of the
Don't
boost?
know.
Can you imagine?
But the 4-wheel drive still has them links, so them links might come in handy
For the 2-wheel drive?
for the 4-wheel drive.
Oh.
Because I upgraded the 2-wheel drive to aluminum links, adjustable aluminum links.
You paid what? $250 for the $250 for the boost?
No,
It's less than 300, right?
102.
Under 2? Oh,
The only
That was a good
reason
deal. That's a
reason
good
why it
deal.
was over. The only reason why it was over 2 was because of taxes.
well, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if I could put a 3S system in my Sentinel eventually and run the stock 12 turn and see if it'd take it.
Brad, first off, you couldn't do it. Second off, why would you? Because why do you think there's 3 wires on there? You're gonna try to connect a motor to 2 of them.
No, what I'm trying to say is that there are ESCs that will do 3S and I can hook them to a brush system. They don't have to be 3-wired brushless.
But I'm saying is the brushless motor wouldn't take 3S, especially in that vehicle.
Well, you have to a 3S.
Yeah.
Brad, you should know that the 1060 or whatever that ESC that comes with the Tamiya system that is the brushless conversion is way more powerful as a brushless speed control than as a brushed. As a Tamiya person, you should know that.
What about the 1060 Heavy Wing?
not the 1060 hobby wing that's only brush only. I'm talking about the Mia brushless.
Oh, yeah,
Brushless brush version.
they could take 10.5 turn, I think.
No, they'll go down to like I think lower than 10.5. I'm not sure, but
I think it's a 10.5, but they don't go lower than a 25 turn for brushed.
no, they go to 19 for brushed, and then it's
No,
like
they don't. Actually, the Tamiya one,
21 for
it says
3-cell.
I can prove to you that the TBL02 one said you could only use 25 turn or less on this paper.
Well,
It says TBL 1S series or the censored sport tune motor, motors over 25 turn receiver output voltage. It's only compatible. I don't know why they have a TBL 1S here, but they are only able to take 25 turns or less.
so I remember looking at one of the remotes for the brushless compatible. They came with the M06, and it said if
Are
you're
you talking about
running
the TBL04? The TBL04 is also a 25 turn or less, but it's a 70 amp or 75 amp.
the
I
one
have a TBL04 that came with my my Terra Scorcher, the re-release of the Terra Scorcher. That's higher level than the TBL04.
yeah, I know one of the speed controls that came out with Tamiya had it would say you can drop down to a really low turn, but they only guarantee if you run a higher turn Tamiya motor, but it's capable of doing a lower turn
But that's
non-Tamiya motor.
but that's not what it says on their things here. Anyways, the TBL04 you can adjust to now to use brushless. It has a setting for brushless to cut off at the right point for the
For 3-cell or 2-cell.
it's a 2-cell only, but it'll work with a lipo, and it has a lipo cutoff system on it.
Okay, yeah, because I remember I just bought the M06 chassis for myself, and I bought one for my buddy, and I got the I'm trying to remember.
It says 10.5 turn for off-road driving use.
Yeah.
And I think they say you should equip it with the cooling fan they sell. ESC is not equipped with a cooling fan and is paired. Well, I don't know why they're putting the TBL-01S. This is a TBL-12S. And then there's the 04.
Okay, yeah. I just know I bought this M06 chassis, and I bought my buddy the Volkswagen Karmann Ghia, and when he got the Karmann Ghia, it had a different speed control. It wasn't the Hobby Wing 1060 that came with this one.
Yeah.
And it was a Tamiya brand, and it actually had the 3 wires.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the thing, it said, "Hey, this will do 3S up to this." And of course, the 3S ratings was way less motors for compared to 2S, but it did say it can do 3S, it could do 2S, but if you do a Tamiya brand motor under 2S, you can do the better Tamiya motor than you could a non-brand. They don't guarantee it under non-Tamiya.
Yeah, well, the Tamiyas are only water resistant. The other one's waterproof.
Yes, that's
I mean, I don't like. I feel their ESCs are hard to set up. But one button thing kind of confuses me, and
Oh, to me,
I have the TBO2 on my Grasshopper, and it's running a dirt tuned, but that's a perfect motor for that car, and the ESC it's a 24 turn maybe at the back. Yeah, it's probably a 24 turn because it's 17,000 RPM, but and that's the only one I was able to set up. And I was surprised I was able to do it. I couldn't repeat that again. I have a hard time setting their own ESCs up. That's why I get other companies' ESCs. But they have a shortage, and they haven't made an ESC in over a year of their own because of the shortage of chips and crap.
I do know the TB01. When I put that Speedo on one of my touring cars, when I actually installed a high-speed servo, it was so much draw on the speed control on the BEC from that speed control, right? It would dog down, and when I put a capacitor on it, I was able to actually keep the speed of the servo up without it drawing down. I was like, wait, these old TB01s, even though it's still perfect for stock 27 turn brush racing, even if you use, say, maybe a torque tuned or sport tuned motor,
I have a dirt tune.
Yeah, those motors may have a different rating of 27, but they still work great on that speed control. But the fact is, as soon as you hook up a high draw servo, see like a Savix or something, those things just completely draw that BEC down to nothing. You need a capacitor just to keep it live.
With the Tamiya ESCs.
Yes, their BEC is subpar. They're designed for stock servos.
Well, I was having a problem with my, I have a BZ super stock motor in my Kyosho. And I don't know if it's a battery or something. Maybe, I don't know what's going on with the battery or something. The beat is over 26,000 RPM without load. So it's definitely over 20,000 with load. But
all depends on
it wouldn't stay up. It wouldn't stay up with the speed for more than 3 minutes. And then it would just drop. And I'm like, there's so much more power left in this battery. Why am I not getting my speed? And it wouldn't let me use my lights that I have on. So I put an ARMA system, an ARMA ESC that John gave me, and I'm going to see what that does. See if it gives me the same problems the Hobby Wing did at the 1060. Which I was surprised. Why is the 1060 giving me this trouble?
1060. What'd you have it in, Brad?
I have a under 25 turn motor. The BZ Superstock is over 26,000 RPM.
How many turn motor is it?
I think it's 23.
Okay.
And the Hobby Wing is supposed to be able to take a brush down to 12. It's nowhere near its capacity.
Okay.
Maybe your timing is so far off, you're overdrawing the amperage.
Actually, it's a set timing. I think it's at 20 degrees that I think they say those motors are at. But they're set at that. You can't change them. A locked end bell.
Yeah, so it's a locked end bell, but it still doesn't explain the speed. Like I said, a 20
for 3 minutes.
Brett. I'm just saying a 25 turn is still a slow motor.
Well, if you've seen of my videos of running my Kyosho, you saw how fast it was for a few minutes with a fresh LiPo in it. It didn't sustain that, and the battery had a lot more capacity. It had still had more to give, and it just didn't. And through the ESC or it's something
Yeah,
wrong.
you were browning out.
Yes.
I haven't
you're
driven it
browning.
yet with the new. I haven't driven it with the Armor yet, with the Armor system.
But I'm saying you were browning out. Which
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would be browning out.
He
I
was
don't need-
browning out because his motor was drawing too many amps because it was a worn out motor.
No, the motor's new. I bought it new for that car. It's not even a year old, that motor.
I've only had one brownout. And it was because I did something dumb. And it was,
And then the car would stop, but if I used the lights on it, it's like, what's going on with the draw?
yeah. You browned out.
The LEDs use hardly any power.
And what kind of servo do you got in it?
A 12 amp, a 12 kilogram. I'm sorry, 12 kilogram.
Okay, so that shouldn't be a problem.
I don't know why it's giving you a brownout thermal cutoff. I mean, it's a browning out, like you said, it's still running, but not running what it should. I just saw a guy he put a 13-turn motor, a brushed motor on his Turbo Scorpion, and it was hauling ass, and it was doing. And
I wonder if your low voltage cutout is too high.
That would make more sense. If he had it set at 2-cell and he was running a 3-cell, that would make more sense.
No, I'm only running 2-cell in it.
I'm saying, do you have it? I wonder if it's set real high.
On the 1060? Because I was only running a 2S. I was only running a 2S 50 amps.
Did you have it set on LiPo?
Yes.
Yeah, a 260 is set for NiCad to begin with.
I know it's on LiPo. The bump, the thing is in LiPo mode.
But even still, it would still even if it was in
Isn't that 6.6 volts cut off or 6.0
it would still run the battery dead.
What is the
Maybe there's something
cutoff
wrong
set
with the
to?
ESC. Maybe there's something wrong with the ESC.
That's what I was saying. There's probably something wrong with the ESC.
That doesn't seem right at all.
So I'm hoping I don't get that type of problem with the Arma that you gave me.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't.
Put the 12th turn in it.
Well, it takes a 12 turn. The Arma you gave me. Bye, EE. And I'm using I'm using under a 10 turn. And it's still my motor is still really fast in the Kyosho's because of the way they're geared.
Yeah. I don't know.
You guys notice with some of the Armas that they take longer to load up to, if you hit the throttle, the Arma speed controls just take longer to speed up. So when I changed from an Arma speed control on my Creighton to a Castle, when I hit the throttle, instead of being that slow build up, it was just punchier. Like it just, is that something that you guys noticed too?
Well,
I haven't used the boost yet, so I don't know that problem.
You can adjust the parameters on the ESC. Even the Arma ones. You get the programmer card and you hook it to a computer. You can program
Even the brushed ones, even the brushed Arma ones.
Not the brushed, but I'm just saying the brushless.
I'm worried I'm gonna have the same problem with my 3S setting it up because it's changed, it's different than the brushed system.
Well, I know when I had my RR10 brushed bomber, it said you could run a 2 or 3 cell, but it would also say you could run a, the stock 27 turn on 2 or 3S. But if you were to go to 3S, you can go down to a 19 turn on 3S, but you can go down to like a 13 turn on 2S.
And I got one heck of a predicament here.
What's wrong?
Because of the length of the Irma shocks. They're all the same length because it's the short course.
Now, the Typhon I have should have a thick, a bigger
Okay, Brad,
board.
fuck off.
Why did he leave?
Oh,
Anybody know why he left?
no.
Hey, Dirk, are you coming on? You know, I have a 6,075 amp battery pack. I think it's called CRE or CRC, something like that. Battery company, 6,000 2S. And I think it fits a lot of my Tamayas. You know, the ones with the flat bottoms, I think it could fit in those. I think it even fits my super hot shot.
But you may know, the chassis for the H1 Hummer, or I mean, it's the 1025 Tamiya Hummer. It takes the round side packs, like you can't put a square pack in it because it's got that slide in the side of the chassis. Where do you get packs for those?
Say that again.
The Tamiya chassis that have, it's a 4-wheel drive chassis for the M1025 Hummer.
Oh,
They
that's
have
a
a round pack.
201.
Yeah, where do you get the round packs? Like, do you have to use stick packs or do you get lipos for those?
I have.
What the fuck? Why
I
ain't
have-
that
I
going
have-
in good?
I didn't know if that's why he. I don't remember him saying I cut him off. I said, "What was the problem, Jake?" I don't know. I don't think I cut him off. I asked, "What's the problem?" So, there's a company called Gart Pot. They're 4,050 seed packs, and they will fit most Tamayas. Look them up. I think you can get them on eBay or Amazon. They're called Gart Pot. That's the name of the company. This is what they look like.
Are those square or round?
They are round at the ends.
That might be the ticket.
And they're 4,000, so they're decent capacity. All you have to do is either change over your things or get adapters.
I have a lot of Dean's connectors, so that would be perfect.
How's it working, Keith?
It's not.
What's wrong?
Don't know.
You have a 1080 in there, don't you?
Yeah, the 1060.
That's like a 1080 to me, the way that the specs are. Could be one of your gears actually be chewed up?
No, they look great.
It sounds like he's got the wrong, like he mounted the motor in the wrong position, like the gears ain't touching.
Yeah, that's wrong somewhere. I think maybe my not spur gear, but that other one, pinion gears, 2 up. You know, they don't can't see any of it, you know.
Yeah, it sucks
Forward
with
a
those
little
Tamiya's
bit.
where you can't see, you have to put the motor in with the right gear ratio. And if you put it in with the wrong one, you don't know it's wrong until it don't work.
Right.
That's what's nice. That's what's nice about the SRB chassis. You know, you can see through the cover, the gear ratio, the gearing. And the Kyoshos, you just take the top, the cover off and take a look.
The TAO series are the same way. You don't have, there's no cover, they're just open.
He's just barely on there. Maybe you should be all the way down.
Or maybe the pinion is loose on the shaft.
It is now, but
Sometimes the pinion spacing it too, because a lot of the Tamiyas had a adapter to space the pinion away from the motor to reach the
Yeah,
spur
they
gear.
have a thing you slide it over the motor, and it tells you the proper distance you should have it from the motor.
yeah, and I have no idea where that is.
Yeah, I have all their super stock motors. I have the RZ,
I wonder if
which I tried to fit to my SRB, but the way the cap is on it, the end bell on it, it wouldn't fit right on it.
I wonder if that's it right there. It looks like it.
Yeah, the RZ, all the super stocks, the two of the super stocks have stand-up brushes, and the RZ has lay-down brushes. And the RZ has faster RPM than the other two.
It's 8. Motor. Hey, that's it. Awesome.
That was it.
Yeah, it came with the new thing.
The spacer.
Yeah, this is big thing right here. Put it in there, and I guess you push the motor to the very end, and then it shows where it fits.
Hopefully it works now that we've figured that part out.
I'm expecting the new MB-01 chassis. They're going to eventually make a four-wheel drive version of it. It's probably eventually they're going to, because the XF01X is the mini size four-wheel drive.
With the way Tamiya's going, they're definitely probably that might be a possible.
People saying they're already starting to stop making M05 parts. I'm like, I don't think they should drop the M series cars anyway. They shouldn't even drop the TL01. I had one and I loved it.
The only series I think they should completely drop is the TTO1.
Why?
The only thing left on it is the trucks.
They still come out with TTO1s on certain rally cars that are touring car more because of the tires they use on it.
In the past 5 years, the only thing they've come out on a TTO1 chassis was that Mercedes. That was it. Like, they haven't done nothing with it.
I think they should bring back the TL01 also. I think they should bring back all the M series from 1 onwards. I had a 1 and I loved it. It behaved just like an actual little Mini Cooper around turns. It performed just fine enough with the two friction dampers on it. It was low to the ground and it laned like an actual car.
The M01, yes, I agree. There's somewhere in my father's house, somewhere in a closet, in a box, somewhere, there's an M01 chassis with the Mini Cooper body painted in polka dot yellow and black dots.
Mine was the 94 version.
Yeah, I had the original old. I think I got this car in 93, 91, somewhere.
Rally car. Mine was the 94 rally car.
Yeah, I had the regular car, but
it was so fun. I put a fast 27 turn in it, a 27 turn that had advanced timing on it. I forgot, maybe as high as 35 degrees. They had that thing wound up. And it was a 27 turn. And every time I go around a turn, you'd hear it go like it was losing an adhesion at the tires, just like a car would. You know what I mean?
Did you have the mechanical speed control?
What?
You had the mechanical speed control or digital?
Oh, I had a Fataba in there.
I had the old school mechanical speed control, the one that hooked up to the servo and had that rotary.
Yeah. But mine, I had I think an MC210 Fataba in it.
Oh, well, you make me jealous because I ended up getting a hold of a 19 turn Stinger motor from
They still make those. They're back up. They're back in making those again.
Well, I put that Stinger motor in that. Oh my God! Like you saying, it makes squeak noises coming around the corner. That thing would just roast the tires at any hard turn. And I ended up to the point.
Yeah, it was because that's what it would sound like on pavement taking it fast. You'd hear it starting to lose adhesion. That's what makes that noise.
I got to the point where I put the thickest grease I could ever put in the front diff to try to lock that to keep it from like one wheel spin. And in my teenage brilliance, I took a bag of E-clips and I put it in the diff in the lock in the grease to try to lock the diff to keep it from spinning. And damn it, it works.
No, in my car, it still turned really good. It didn't. Sometimes but any front wheel drive car, the rear would possibly spin out on you, but took and stuck that turn, but it still made that noise. It was fun. That's like a real car. You know that thing that that M01 was doing over 20 miles an hour.
Those cars were so
Come on,
much
Bolt.
fun. Like for the price of them, like you can go out and buy a Tamiya and like, okay, I save money. And you go out and say, okay, I buy a Boulogne and realize you can't take a Boulogne anywhere other than flat ground. Other than that, you got to spend twice as much money on any other car to run any kind of decent car. Back in the early 90s, late 80s.
You know, the M01, I felt it handled so well. I needed oil filled dampers on my TL01. That I didn't need. But the M01 didn't need it just because of how low to the ground it was. And it handled the rebound not as bad as you would expect from a friction damper.
I don't remember if, like you said, you had an outrage, right? I don't remember. Was that oil filled?
Yes, those are oil filled dampers.
Yeah, that
It was
For
their
what-
cheapest kit. The cheapest Kyosho kit I could buy at the time was like $99. It didn't have a slipper clutch, but it was a stadium, the old stadium trucks.
yeah, I got the buggy version, and like you said, no slipper clutch. And in my infinite teenage wisdom, I decided I needed more traction. And you remember how those wheels were kind of like a beadlock?
Not on that car. That car was a whole rim, and you just put the tire on it.
So on the buggy, you had a beadlock where you had a center plastic ring that kind of held it, and then two sides that you screwed together.
Mine didn't.
Well, I took thumbtacks and I put them on the inside of the tire because I had a hard packed clay field in my backyard that I can go play on. And the only way to get traction was metal spikes, in my opinion.
That's not true. The Ghost treads now work great on clay. It sticks like stink.
Well, this was my thinking back in the early 90s.
I'm just telling you. I see cars running on clay tracks, and there's barely any tread you see on it. And they get.
Oh,
they
yeah. Well, this, I'm talking about a dried up dust bowl of a track. So
well, that's different. Not clay.
Yeah.
Wet clay. It sticks like stink.
Yeah, this is dry clay. Like you can, like during a rainstorm, you can actually go out, pick up the dirt and roll it into a clay like it was, clay. But in the middle of the summer, this was, it's dry.
Like the baseball.
But anyway, I took that damn Kyosho outrage and I jumped the ramp with it, and I put one of those 13 turn modified, what the hell was it? The Reedy motors. And I put that in there on that rotary speed control. Guess why you need a slipper clutch? Because when the transmission spins, and then when the car hits the ground after a jump, and the tires are spinning and the motor is spinning, you need a slipper clutch to take care of that jump. I destroyed the transmission of that stupid Kyosho, and that was the end of it.
Well, I had the ST model, the stadium truck, and it had the bigger rims and a lot bigger tires. I mean, yeah, slipper clutches help with traction and help stop sudden jolt to the gearbox. It does two things. That's the two things it does.
Well, I wish it had a slipper clutch because I destroyed the entire transmission, and that was the last time I drove that car.
I missed their brush motors. They were beautiful motors.
Kyosho?
Yeah.
Yes, they did have nice sealed can motors. They had
the nice end belt ones, and they were nicely colored and stickered, and I bet there's a market for retro style motors. They could come out with those and still make a lot of money on those retro brush motors. Especially when I know people who don't want to use brushless.
Yeah, brushless on at one point you really want to go fast if you want brushless. If you want to play with the car, stick with brush. The extra $100 for a brush motor, if you want a sensor, then it's an extra $150 or $200 for the same thing. Like, no, you want to play with
I have two of my buggies running off of brushless. I mean, the Tamiya ones. I want my 4-wheel drives to be faster than my 2-wheel drive. You know what I mean?
Well, on that note, on the racetrack where I race, on clay, where we're running basically slick tires on 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive off-road buggies. My 2-wheel drive buggy with a 17.5 motor is generally faster around the course than my 4-wheel drive buggy with a faster motor. Just saying.
I mean, I had a 15 turn motor now that I'm going to put on my wild one, and I've seen them run on 15 turn motors, and they take them good. That the wild one takes the 15 turn really good.
I'm thinking, what could I put on a mini lunchbox?
There are tiny little brushless motors for them. I'm sure you could buy them.
Like the lunchbox and what was it? The midnight pumpkin. That was another one I loved.
You know what? I have those, and I saw a guy who was running in the snow, lunchbox in the snow. He said he had a 4300 in there or something like that, a real high over 4,000 kV in it, and it went through that snow really good. But he didn't glue the wheels, so sometimes the rims spun inside the tire.
The craziest old school I've seen was a guy I met. I stopped at the hobby shop before I was going to the Great Lakes Gauntlet, and he had a Kyosho Blizzard, and he actually had two brushless motors set up on a mixing system on his. Like, he showed me a video on his phone. I wish I could find the video to share it to somebody. But he had a brick, a regular brick on the back just to gain weight. And that plow, he cleared the entire snow off his deck. This is 4 inches of snow, and snow's billowing around the side of this Kyosho Blizzard. And he's just plowing snow off his deck while he's sitting inside the house in the warmth.
You know what? That reminds me, Aaron, RC Sparks, before he moved from Alberta, he made, or he found, I don't know if he had someone make it or he made it himself. He made a snowblower front for the Blizzard. It had a what are those? I forgot what they call them. They roll around in there, and he had it hooked to the Blizzard, and the snow, he snow blew the snow. That thing was shooting like 6 feet. The snow was blowing 6 feet out of that snow blowing part of the car, of the Blizzard. Isn't that cool?
I've got to see that.
You got to go back years. You go to his channel, and you're going to have to keep scrolling down to find it, but you'll find it. He was on his wood deck, and he used it instead of a plow. It was a snowblower attachment.
They got to make that as commercial. Like that Cross RC came out with that big ass tow truck rollback. If they're going to come out with that, somebody has to come out with a commercial a snow rig. It's got to come out soon.
Well, I know Keith wants to see that 10 wheel drive. What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
Why isn't it turning, Keith?
I don't know.
Check the wires to the motor.
Bow the motor's turning.
You better check the settings. You got that bar there that you adjust the settings. Remember, that one could take multiple, more than 2 different pinions because it can slide around. Hey, Jason. I don't know why John just left. So you're about to send back, back my HPX?
Yeah, I'll send it back soon. Probably tomorrow. I got the part in.
Oh,
What
so
you
you're gonna
needed.
put the part, you're gonna set up the differentials and I'll put the rest of the back together. Is that what your whole situation was?
Yeah, I got the diff that you need. It was waiting for me when I got back. So I'll
All
just
right.
throw all that stuff together in a box, and then it comes in one full piece, so you should be able to just throw it in there when you put
Oh.
it back together.
I thought you were just gonna put the drive shaft and the diffs together and give me the rest.
That can be done, yeah. The diff is
Can you do
already
that? Can you do
in a
that?
solid piece. Yeah, I can at least do that.
Yeah, hook up the drive train and that's it.
Yeah, it should be super easy. That means, well, if I'm gonna do that part, then I'll just send it back to you later this week.
All right, you'll just have the drive trains hooked up.
Yeah, super easy. I found the manual and all that stuff, so super easy.
So this
Yeah, I
guy
took
gave
this.
me, Sarge, the guy gave me some bead blocks, but he didn't give me tires. So I got some tires.
I probably can't even see that.
Put
Let me
them on
see.
there.
Let me turn off my background.
I can't believe you got to that side of the country from your side of the country that quick.
Takes 2 days if you just drive. We drove all the way through Texas for on the first day, and then that's literally 1,000-mile drive. So 1,000-mile drive from Colorado Springs to the Louisiana-Texas border, which is where one of my buddies that I served with that passed away, his parents lived there. Whenever we traveled through Texas, they want us to stop and come by and see him. So we did that on the way there and on the way back. So it's 1,000 miles, basically like 15-hour drive, almost 16 hours to get to their house from ours.
Oh,
And then we sleep.
I thought you drove from Colorado Springs to Florida.
We did. We stopped in Texas for a night to rest.
Oh,
That's at my buddy's house. So we stopped there, get some good food, hang out, meet with his parents and catch up and all that, and then go to sleep. And the next morning we take off super early in the morning, and it's another like 13 hours, 14 hours or something like that to get the rest of the way.
so it took you 28 hours to get to Louisiana and then another 28 to get to Florida?
No, total. So you're talking about the 2 days of driving total. So we left at 2 a.m. on the 28th. Got to their house like 7 p.m. And then you got to remember you lose an hour because they're an hour ahead.
Yeah.
Because the time changed down there. So we get there at 7 p.m. and stay the night there, get up super early again. I think we left kind of late that day, actually, because we got up and had breakfast and everything and then drove. I think we left at like 10 a.m. and then got down to Florida to our actual location at about 3 a.m., just before 4 or something like that, 3 something in the morning.
That's
So that was
that's more than
driving.
1,000 miles to go to Florida.
Well, no, I'm saying it's 1,000 miles just to drive through Texas.
Yeah.
That was the first 1,000 miles, and it was another 900-ish miles to get to the other location in Florida. So
you
a total
drove
of 28
1,900 miles.
hours. Yeah, we did. So our total was just over 4,000 miles with the traveling inside of Florida once we got there. Yeah,
I
it was
bet it
crazy.
was a pretty ride going through the Rockies and all that. The mountains.
No, because we're at the base of the mountains already. So when we leave, we don't see really any mountains on the way down.
You didn't
Kinda-
see them going into New Mexico or Colorado?
Oh, heck no. There's a few little hills and stuff in New Mexico, but you don't really see a lot because you're just on these long, empty roads.
Well,
There
I
was
know
one
New
road that we
Mexico
went
has
on.
mountains.
Yeah, they do. But where you pass through, you're kind of getting into starting to get close to all that stuff. And then from there, when you get to New Mexico, you're pretty much going uphill to get to that altitude. You know, because we're at 6,000 feet.
Didn't you go through Big Bend area of Texas?
Big Bend area. I don't even know. I don't know Texas like
That's
that.
on the New Mexico border with
Oh,
Texas.
okay. Well, it depends on where on the New Mexico border because we're at the northeastern tip, basically.
Oh,
Before you start
okay.
driving up and get into Colorado.
Because I know Santa Fe and Santa Cruz and all that. Those are
Yeah,
mountains.
you're only in New Mexico for like an hour, maybe an hour and some change.
That's hard to believe. It's the fourth largest state in the country.
Yeah, but you're on a little corner of it before you get into Texas. You literally come in through the top.
So you
of
weren't
New
driving
Mexico,
through the southern part of you weren't driving through the southern part of New Mexico.
No, all the way at the northeastern tip. You basically just pass through it and then you're into Texas. And it's all day driving through Texas.
And you were in Austin?
No, we were all the way in this place called Orange, which is right on the border of Louisiana and Texas at the very southern eastern border.
Oh, you didn't drive through Austin to get there?
Oh, heck no.
No.
Austin is way out of the way from where I was going.
Okay.
Keith knows.
Yeah, Austin's hill country.
Yeah, so you basically make this very long, you're basically cutting through the middle and then you go down to the left on the state and then you hit that border down there. It literally takes all day. It's crazy. I never thought I would drive an entire driving day in one state. Because you pass through Dallas, you pass through Amarillo, you pass through Vernon. What else? There's so many that we pass through. It's ridiculous.
I remember going to Ocean City, Maryland. Most of the trip was in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And Pennsylvania is a fairly long state.
It is.
The longest trip I've ever been on, like, mind you, I've driven 24 hours straight to Austin, Texas. I've driven to Tampa Bay from Detroit, Michigan. But to go from Detroit to Green Bay, you're in Michigan for 20 hours driving from the southern tip to the northern tip of the lower peninsula, across the bridge, and then several more hours to the border of Wisconsin. That is ridiculous. That is a long trip through one state.
Just imagine going from the most northern point of Illinois and going to its most southern point. That's a long trip too, because it's a long state up and down.
Well, Michigan has two peninsulas. You have to do that whole distance and then do it again.
You like that, Keith, in the background?
The UP I hear is beautiful.
Oh yeah. I ain't cut my glasses on, but it looks cool.
Did some rearranging of the RC stuff when I got back.
Seems like
Got some things situated.
Now what's going on?
There's a collection.
Are you going to raise them so their tires aren't going to get flat spots?
Most of them are sitting on tires, and if you don't notice what they
Oh, because I have my things sitting on something to stop them from flattening the
yeah,
tires.
even that doesn't look like it, but it's sitting on a set of its own tires underneath there. This one, I'm not really worried about. They're knobby. It'll be all right. They're not going to flatten out. They're super hard. That one's
Like
up on
this-
tires.
Like this shaft of this motor just shrunk.
Derek, are you coming in or not?
This is a cool looking truck, but it's weak. It breaks easily.
The gas powered buggy?
No, this one, the ZD Racing. It's got weak steering linkage. I gotta get that shit replaced. And then here's the big boys over here. They have their own little corner.
Oh, you got big boys.
Maya.
Do you have
Oh, yeah.
any, any replacement for the Red Cat, that they're big monster truck steering linkage? I've bought 6 of them. They just keep destroying themselves.
Which kind of which one are you talking about? Like a Rampage?
The Red Cat Rampage. The steering rack, the bearings, the whole assembly just self disintegrates.
Okay, I didn't know that was an issue with those.
Yeah, I've got
I don't have any Red Cat fifth scale. I don't have any Red Cat right now. Actually, I used to have some Red Cats, but
I don't
years
see
ago.
Tamaya on your somewhere. Where's your Tamaya?
I just showed it to you.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it on the shelf because it's the furthest one over. You got a little special spot right there.
There it is. You got to raise that too, so it doesn't sit on its tires too.
They have hard.
All the
These are
plastic.
hard compound plastic tires. Yeah, this thing slides around, dude, like crazy. It's so fun. Like in here on the garage floor, it's so smooth in here. That thing drifts. I took this thing out today. We met up with some people for a ride.
Yeah.
You know what's nice about that particular car? You could make it a touring race car if you wanted to.
That's what I was also thinking about doing. Like, I don't know, like just having the tires
Just change all the
available.
tires.
Yeah.
Maybe do some suspension work. Maybe.
I got my little small guys over here. I need to put the TRX4 up there with those. Got some drone action in there. And I still haven't made any progress on this. Yeah, that's my third MTXL chassis.
Oh, you got
Something
both
is
of
not
those?
connecting at all.
What's not connecting?
What do you think of
The
the new
spur gear and the
FMS
pinion
Blazer?
gear.
What do you think of the new FMS Blazer K15s or K5s?
That little tiny thing, right? It's a little tiny Blazer.
Yeah,
I think they look really cool. I mean, I think they look cool. I watched
transmissions,
who did you said it has 2?
2-speed transmissions.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool for such a small vehicle.
Yeah. And they come in 3 colors, and you can take the roof off the back.
I watched RC Girl, maybe she did a video on it. I think that's how I saw it. But yeah, they look pretty cool. I don't know if I would buy one. I mean, at the price point, that's pretty good. Like, what was it, 179 or 140?
145.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's not bad. They seem to be
And
pretty.
I hear they can only do 8 kilometers an hour. I can't believe they go that slow. Second gear, they make it look like it's going really fast. There's usually a 130 motor in it.
What do you do? Hit a switch on it or something? Is that how you get your 2-speed
It's
thing? or
got
whatever?
2-speed, yeah.
Yep.
Got a
Okay.
little servo in it and everything.
Oh, nice.
Steering servo and a gear changing servo.
That's cool. I'd run something like that. I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. If I ever get rid of the TRX4M, I'll get one of those.
Which what happened to our friends?
I love the idea of the FCX 24, K5. The only thing is a lot of places that have competitions have overhangs and things that
Oh, it's an
most,
FMS. It's an FMS you're talking about.
yeah, the FMS. So if you go to a competition 24 scale event and you want to bring your FMS, say the K5, they're too tall. A lot of these
Oh.
places have
They're also
overhangs
hard
and
body.
bridges,
Yeah,
They're
they can't
they're
clear
not-
stuff.
That,
and they
they're
just
a
don't
hard body
clear.
too, Jason. It's a
Oh,
hard
wow.
body also.
Yeah,
Hard
they
body.
just don't clear those obstacles. So it's like,
you
when we
trail
want
it.
these, are we
That's what you do. You
restricted
trail
to?
it.
Yeah, restricted
That's
to trail.
crazy.
It's a trail truck. It's not a crawler.
No, I put it in
I mean,
there,
it is,
right?
but
That goes to the back and that.
Yeah, it's
piece
a hard.
goes-
It's a hard body on it. So it's an ABS plastic body.
There's something unbelievable.
It was really made to do very little crawling and more trailing.
I mean, that's what the Ecto is like. It's supposed to be a trail truck, but that thing crawls everywhere. It's crazy. Everything is absolutely crazy. I got emailed by I can't talk about the name of it, but I got emailed by a lipo brand that wants to send me their stuff so I can review it and make videos. And
Oh, that-
You're gonna,
Yeah.
we were
That's
just
the first
talking
time-
about
first time
Pitbull
that's ever
having
happened.
batteries.
That's neat, man.
Huh?
Are any of you coming in the chat room coming into the panel?
I won't be here too long. I gotta get to sleep.
That's that.
But
And that goes on the outside.
hang out for a little bit.
My spur gear and pinion gear are not even close to being matched up.
Tomorrow I go back to work. After 15 days of leave. Very enjoyable.
That goes in, that
How
goes
was it in
in,
Florida?
Beautiful.
that goes
Did you see
in.
my video I made when I met with the guys from Operation 11 Charlie? I didn't show them, but I showed some of the
That
crawling
goes
footage
in
that I
that
got.
way.
I just did
That
a
was
new
super
video
cool.
on that car that had tracks on it. It is so slow, but I put a 7.4 volt in it with the tires on it.
Huh?
The thing becomes ruckus. It just becomes much faster. You wouldn't believe double the voltage.
That's cool.
Yeah, I put the tires on it, and it was jumping over my my power bar here. With a 7.4 volt.
It's awesome. I need to get around to working on my SCX24 because I have some stuff I wanted to do to it.
Okay,
I got a faster motor to put on it.
that's that piece right
Just
there.
haven't done it because it's a monstered out one, so
Body
it
frame.
needs a little bit more power so you can do monster truck
That's-
fun with it.
That.
That stock motor that's in there is slow.
And I know that was broke, so I replaced that.
So
I think most of the guys that would join would rather do it on an offline probably.
yeah, well, Dirk
After-
usually gets
after-
on here, and I give him the reins, and he does it.
Oh, so you can put it on there.
Yeah, Dirk hasn't come on here so I could change it carefully.
Doing some decal action here.
So, what's your next road trip?
Most likely it's gonna be California because all my family's there and they haven't seen me or even met my wife and children because we've been on the other side of the country or overseas the entire time I've been in the Air Force.
So you've been married, and your other family has not met them.
Nope.
I hate to say it, sounds kind of sad that they haven't met them.
Yeah, it's sad, but I mean that's military life. Not to mention I have a huge family, so it's easier for them to come visit us than it is for us to go visit them. And
California is
because
about
of
10
that,
hours for you, isn't it?
yeah, maybe 10, 12 hour drive, which is nothing after doing what we did. That'll be like a walk in the park.
Yeah, it should be what, 12 hours?
Yeah, I could do that in a day and still have energy to go party when I get there.
I'm still waiting for you to tell me when you're going to come to my side of the country.
Someday. Because if I make the drive all the way to New Jersey to visit her family,
I'd be along the
then
way.
we would, yeah, you would. So someday. Just gotta plan it out. That might not even be until next year though, to be honest. Like I know my family wants to see us and stuff like that, but I mean, the way I look at it is, look, dude, like we spent 8.5 years at the same base. At the same
And we went to
base.
Colorado Springs.
And I had one family member visit me that entire time. It's much easier for one person to buy a plane ticket and come stay with us for free than it is for us to buy 7 plane tickets because we have a family of 7. So it kind of makes sense for somebody to say, hey, you know, I'm planning to come visit at this time frame. I mean, I even got to the point where I offered to pay part of the tickets if people wanted to come visit. So I'll leave it at that. Everybody wants you to come to them. Everybody wants you to come to them. And that's not cheap.
Well, if I had more
Like
money, I would
just this
travel
trip
more
alone.
places.
Yeah, just this trip alone, just in gas, it was about $800.
I'm surprised it was that little.
Just for gas.
For every year we had to go to
I'm surprised it was
Connecticut.
that little. A
Well, you
ticket
gotta
would have
think you.
a ticket would have been for the whole family would have been more than that.
Well, I priced it out, and I was like, I'm not about to spend like $6,000 on
Yep.
plane tickets for round trips and have to get a rental
$800
car
of
when we
gas.
get there. See what I'm saying?
800
Like,
Yeah, $800 in gas is a no-brainer.
you know, then I have to get a rental car when we get there, or see if somebody let us borrow a vehicle, and then that comes into play if anybody even has a vehicle that seats 7 people. So it's like,
Or 8.
might as well just do
At
your
least when I
thing,
went
you
to
know.
Connecticut, I always had my brother. He had 2 vehicles. I borrowed a vehicle from him. So
I'm all for visiting and all that stuff, but it's gotta be the right time. Things have to line up. And our reason for even making this trip was because, one, we have a family member that isn't doing so well, so we wanted to see that person before it's too late. You don't get to do that, you know what I mean? And then the other part of it was we were invited to a wedding over a year ago. So while we were still stationed in Italy, we received a postcard, you know, with an invite that they were doing their 20-year vow renewals.
What was the name of the Italy base?
Aviano,
Aviano.
in the Pordenone region,
Was it near the Alps?
right at the base of it. It was awesome. I used to go in there all the time, flying my
I
drones
guess-
around. I'd take them up there if I wanted to go do RC in the snow.
Hey,
It was
there's a guy.
literally a 25-minute drive to get to the closest ski resort. 25 minutes.
Remember that guy. Remember that video I showed you from Matteo? He lives in the Swiss Alps.
Yep.
And he has
That
the
place
Rhine.
is beautiful. Have you
He
ever
has
been
the
there?
Rhine River going through it.
That's awesome. The first base I was at in Germany, we got to go snowboarding there in the Swiss Alps. That was absolutely amazing. It was the first time I had ever been on a snowboard.
I hear Bavaria's quite beautiful.
For that to be your first place to ever even hop on a snowboard and the views you get to see is insane.
You know,
Insane.
you know, the area that Hitler had one of his bases in, that was a beautiful area. One of his places he stayed at. It was in the Bavaria area. I forgot what area of
Come
Bavaria.
on.
he was in.
I was stationed in Fort Hood, and during my 2+ years at Fort Hood.
You
I
were in the
got
Army?
hit. Yes, I was Army.
Thank you for your service.
And
Yeah, thanks for serving.
while I was there,
I'm
I got
still-
a chance
I'm still
to
active.
visit. No, I'm out of it. But I was able to go to South Korea, and the places there were just amazing. And the
Mhm.
coolest thing I can say was I bought a Mugen MTX2 kit for about $100 US from the market.
You
And
yeah,
it's
man.
it's a $400 or $500 kit in the US. And I brought it
Yeah.
home tax free. That was the most
yeah.
amazing thing. Like,
Jason would say
That's
the
where it's
same
at right there.
amazing thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I was stationed there in 2009 for a year. I was at Osan.
You go to Seoul a lot?
I went a couple of times. I didn't go a lot. I mean, I think maybe 3 or 4 times.
What about
Experienced their
Busan?
nightlife. Busan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Busan, partied out there. I took the bullet train. It was crazy. I was like,
Did you
how
get
fast
go
is
to
this
Hooker
train
Hill?
going? Did what?
Did you go to Hooker Hill?
No. I heard of it. I never went
That
up there
was
in those
like,
areas.
don't go there.
Yeah, I got no business
have
out
an
in those
island.
places.
They have an island that has
Jeju Island. You're probably talking about that one.
they have an island off of South Korea, which has a bunch of very sexually explicit statues on it.
Yeah,
It's
that
a-
might be. That might be. No, maybe it's Jeju. I think Jeju does have that kind of stuff. I know Japan has that stuff for sure. Got some pretty cool Operation 11 Charlie stickers.
come on.
Come on, Dirk, get in here so we can get offline. Please, Dirk, please. So you saw 11 Charlie?
Yeah, I got to meet the founder, Javier. Pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Dude is awesome.
How many were you there? Why they were getting out vehicles to people?
Oh no. This was like literally like specifically like, hey, I'm gonna be down there. Maybe we can squeeze some time in to hang out a little bit. Maybe get some lunch or something. So we met up at Dr. Dan's RC shop. Had a crawl for about an hour and a half. Checked out their little crawl course, which is epic. Thing is legit.
So did you go running vehicles with him?
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
they
said
get
he went
so
to
the
Dr.
shop.
Dan's RC shop.
Yeah, the RC shop gave me a loaner 10th scale. He called it a 10-2 kit or something like that, which I don't know exactly what that meant, but it was a nice kit, had a blue body on it. I didn't even film myself driving it. I was having so much fun. So I walked around and filmed everybody else's while they were running their stuff. Got some footage. Then I made a video where I kind of like showed the shop, and then I showed the different areas that they have, because they just built a little track thing in there for like they've been racing those what do you call them, the Latrax rally cars. That's the thing that they do weekly there. So they have like this nice rubber. They have a nice rubber track, and it's like all in an enclosure and everything. So it's pretty cool. Like it's nice and.
Too bad you didn't get to go to Exo Cage's place where there's a lot of.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Because he has a bunch of stuff for crawling there and a dirt track.
Yep. The Exoplex. I looked it up, but it was too far off from where I was going to be at, so couldn't make it. Otherwise, I definitely would have went there. I missed Aldo Loyal too.
You missed meeting Swampert too.
Swampers is in Florida?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't know what party he's in though. At one point, I don't know if you guys heard of Aldo Loyal. He's a basher dude though. He bashes stuff.
Who?
Aldo Loyal.
Oh. You did some
He like
bashing
owned-
and crawling.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Because I did take the TRS-4M and I did run it out there. So I do have footage on that video of that thing just messing around on some of the obstacles for their 24 scale obstacles. That was pretty cool.
Dirk, get in here so I can switch over.
Dirk ain't coming.
Dirk always comes. I don't know why he's reluctant today.
He does always show up.
Oh,
Find a good spot to sticker bomb my helmet, my motorcycle helmet.
now I have no power.
I sent you some videos, Jason.
I finally get it all hooked up right, and now I ain't got no
I saw
damn
that.
power to the friggin' what the hell?
Let's do this side right here.
What the?
Oh, keeps getting
Get
in.
that ear mesh right. What is wrong with you?
No, I got it all hooked up now. Now I ain't got no damn power. No servo or nothing.
There's something wrong with your electronics then.
We've been working fine all night.
And it's when and now they're not.
Yes. Now I finally figured out what was wrong with the gears. And I think I got that meshed right. And now I ain't got no servo or no gas.
That sounds about right.
What did you do? Check your
Got
receiver.
ain't got no gas in it.
Yeah, no gas. in it.
You're using a nightcap. He only has nickel metal hydride.
It's
Keegan.
full charged. I just got it off the battery charger.
I remember getting a job to put in a stereo in an old Buick, and the guy comes back after replacing the stereo. He goes, "All my lights don't work," and I went through every wire, everything I could do, and I eventually stopped. Wait, this motherfucker had 4 brake light bulbs that were blown.
All the wiring for nothing. It was just a bunch of bulbs burned out. That just makes you mad. All that trouble for nothing.
Maybe I know what the problem is.
I was about to say, I know you
You
did
ain't
something
got no
wrong.
batteries.
No, I got 2 Dumbo controls. Maybe it's this Dumbo control.
There you go.
Oh,
There
it
you go.
was.
That's funny. Sometimes
Still
you just
got a
gotta
hell of
slow-
a gruggle in it, though.
Say that again. What's that? What's that word you just said?
Gruggle goes. Grrr.
Now it's working.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's
How's it working?
running good, but it's still got that damn noise in it.
There's something wrong with one of the gears in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wear it in. It's like breaking in an engine. Just wear it in.
All new gear sets, so the only thing I don't have is the inside, you know. Whoops. I got the motor turned backwards. Yeah, I'll get the pinion. I mean, whatever that's called. What is that called, Brad?
What?
It's inside the pinion gears.
There's a pinion and a spur.
No, it's inside the thing. What did I glue there?
Oh, the you
Diffs. I need diff gears.
You need the diff gear that holds the internal gears.
Yeah. Well, no, I got that. I need the internal
You need
gears.
internal match gears. You need the internal gears of that diff.
Whoa, this fucking thing. I forgot how quick it was. No, it's inside the thing. What did I glue there?
Oh.
Oh, I lost it in the bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah, I put a video out of my vehicle running its treads, that newest one. Its tracks. Why did you leave, John?
Because I was in the middle of talking about something. You completely changed the subject.
I said what was wrong. That's all I said, and you left.
Yeah, I was talking about the shock lengths on the Sentin and what I might have to do. You know, oh well, the Armor Typhon. I'm like,
I was wondering about the shock bodies of the Typhon and compared to the Sentin.
well, you cut me right off. I couldn't even finish what I was talking about. You just went off rambling. They're all the same shocks.
I thought
God, I forgot how fast this was.
I thought the bodies are different.
Damn,
They're
this thing's
all
fast.
the same, Brad.
You driving it around?
Yeah. It doesn't do it when it's under pressure. Whoa! Donuts in the kitchen.
Is that a new Sentin body?
What is a new Sentin body?
What you just showed, you had a clear body. What is it? Oh, it's a SCX body, isn't it?
that's beautiful.
So you got a different body to fit the Sentin.
Yeah,
What are you going to color it?
don't know.
That's a good color.
What?
Don't know.
Clear?
I don't know, clear.
Well, right now it's going to be clear.
Everybody's going to be getting all upset with you with the Sentin. You're going to flip them off. I know you.
Like I said, it's still a build in progress. It's going to get done within the next probably 3 days, 4 days. And so I'm just getting things set up on it right now. Not really dialed in at all. But I'm just kind of slapping it together to see how it goes.
So whose shocks are you going to use on it?
Well, right now it's got the Arma shocks, which are too long. But like I said, I know they're too long, so I'm not going to put the shims in it. I just put the oils that the weight oils that I normally run, just to see what it does.
There's going to be a lot of testing.
Oh, there's going to be testing. You don't build an oval race car and go out and finish in first.
Lots of setup.
Well, yeah, completely different platform than what I've been running.
Oh, this is going to be a new challenge for you.
Oh yeah, but I like it. Like I said, I've already changed the tires. I've already got different hexes on it. I already got the links on it. I got the transmission built. All I got to do is put the motor on it. And let's see here. And I got to put the rear diff back together.
Oh, he left. He didn't say goodbye.
No, maybe something happened.
It did look like he was getting tired though.
Yeah, he's been looking like that for quite a minutes. Dirt still hasn't come in here. I'm very surprised.
Hey, Brad, here's another piece that's getting completely replaced.
That's the original boost differential.
That's all the differential. It's the same differential between the 2-wheel and 4-wheel.
And it's plastic, right?
Yes.
I'm worried I'm going to end up breaking that diff. You think it'll hold up?
On a 12 turn?
Yeah.
You're gonna blow the motor up before you break that diff.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are there metal gears inside that diff though?
Yeah. There's metal inside of it. But I also have an extra one of these sitting around, so that might be in there too.
Oh, the heat sink.
Yeah. I'm gonna run a heat sink on this one.
Did you run it? Did you run it before you changed everything?
I pulled it out of the box, pulled the body off it, and tore it apart.
So you never even drove it?
Nope. Why do I need to drive it? I already know what the 4-wheel drive does, and I've been driving it with 2-wheel drive.
Well, in the front.
I've also driven it in the rear too.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Looks like she's running good.
So what are you going to do with it? You don't know what you're going to do with all the extra stuff?
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. No.
It doesn't do that when it's under pressure. So,
You mean under load?
yeah.
What kind of VSC is that in motor?
It's
It's a
the torque tune motor, and it's the 1060 ESC.
That almost sounds like gear mesh.
Yeah, there's something is messing in. I just had it all apart, John, as you've seen, and I don't know. There is like a little click in there when when I was doing it myself with the hands, but I could not find out where it was at. I must have turned that thing 200 times, but it's not doing it when it's under load. So, and I don't know if it's inside the diff, but I can't get it out because I screwed up and I shoe gooed it with I locked my diff with shoe goo and toilet paper.
Toilet paper? What the hell would you need toilet paper for?
Stuffed it in there and made it hard. And yeah, worked good.
Yeah, he locked the diff, and you probably blew another gear or chipped a tooth out of gear.
In the diff itself, inside maybe.
The diff is completely locked with the shoe goo, isn't it?
Yes, it won't come out at all.
So it didn't break anything in there.
Right. But all the plastic stuff around it looks good. I didn't see any chips or any, even when I took it apart, I didn't see any kind of plastic thing or anything. So
Finally.
it's weird.
Finally is how you greet me, Brad.
But I'm going to
Yeah,
drive it
because-
until it friggin' breaks because I got a whole other
Good to see
diff
you.
set. And
You could always do what I did. Tell him where to go and leave for about an hour or so.
He's been gone as long as you've been gone. There. Now we can go offline. I hope everybody will join us in the chat online.
what I'm going to do is order another